Mm. Mm. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
We're live.
I did say that. My mic's not muted.
Hello.
No, it's not muted.
Welcome to the CanadaGuns Talk Show, episode 97. Actually, don't go in the woods. I'm your host, Grover. Adriel's in there. Say hi.
Hi.
Crazy's here. Say hi.
Hi.
And there's some random guy with a giant beard. That lightning guy. Say hi.
Yo.
Yeah, he's gonna be joining us today because we've got nothing better to do. You know what the situation is, folks. As the title alludes to, shit's getting funky out there. Don't go outside. You can't even go into the playgrounds anymore, right? Crazy, you know that you would beforehand.
Oh yeah, all the playgrounds all have tape up on them, and the premier and the mayor are getting very, very angry at people who are taking the tape off.
Odd.
They're getting very disgruntled to the point of threatening to do more than what they're already doing, which I don't know how the fuck can get any worse. We're down to 5-person gatherings in Ontario. I went to Best Buy today to buy a new monitor, actually, and they had tape up on the fucking ground outside the store, like 2 or 3 meters apart, for where you had to stand to wait to get the item that you had to reserve online beforehand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the alternative there is you don't get to go to Best Buy at all, and it's pure quarantine, right? So I would take the social distancing that they've got on the floor.
It just seemed more than a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, Cabela's is down to 25 people in the store at a time, and everybody is. I think they're taking no cash.
Oh yeah, nowhere's taking cash right now.
Good. We needed to get off cash. Now we're off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been off cash since I got a debit card when I was fucking 10. But the thing with it is, it's so weird when I go to travel someplace that's still very cash heavy, and I have to carry like fucking wads of yen in my fucking pocket in Japan or something like that.
You ain't going to Japan anytime soon, homeboy.
No, that was the thing I was debating: is do I buy a cheap flight to Japan because they were up for like $420 fucking dollars, or do I buy a motorcycle? And in the end, I'm like, well, my motorcycle license expires unless I upgrade it in September, but Japan's not going anywhere. So I decided I would rather buy the bike.
If you went right now, the streets would be barren. You could just like chill and like walk around and check it all out. Be sweet,
Yes,
and then the flight would be cheap too, right?
Yeah, and all the accommodations would be cheap.
They're not letting people in, and once I got back from Japan, I would have to quarantine myself for 14 days.
Well, no, they wouldn't let you back into the country either.
Oh, they have to let you back into the country. Yeah. You are constitutionally guaranteed entry back into Canada as a Canadian citizen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have to let you back.
Okay. What did you say?
Leave, though.
What did you say, Lightning?
Hello? Nothing, maybe?
Oh, you called me Lightning.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Lighting.
Fuck
that
you, is my accent.
That was my
Is your accent? What accent?
It's called Canadian accent.
Lighting. What did you say beforehand? Jesus Christ! Don't make me fucking pause so much.
I just said that they wouldn't let him into Japan. That's all.
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't.
Doubly so now, not just the convictions.
You know, they're monitoring this live stream. It's pretty much that's it for you.
Oh, welcome to another list. Anybody that we have hosted on this show is definitely on a list.
Yeah, I'm working on my Nexus right now. That could be interesting.
A black stroke, definitely a strike against your Nexus Pass getting through right now.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Lighting, it says here that you've been on a radical live stream. We're not sure what to call it. We have no definition for what you were on.
Alt-right, hateful, gun-toting, white supremacists, I think, is what this group is.
No, can't be white supremacists. You got a brown guy.
No, you count. You count. Sorry.
Don't you know, Clover? You're just an Uncle Tom.
Now we're definitely on a list. Has anybody done anything gun related? Because I kind of have. Anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Adriel, go.
All right. I got a box of parts and I turned it into this.
Ooh.
This is.
Are you trying to sell it already? You have the optic off. Are you selling it?
I was weighing it because it said 8.5 pounds on the thing, and I weighed it. I had 8.5 pounds.
Is that the Matrix kit from True North Arms?
Nope. This is the Matrix kit from Maple Ridge Armory, the swanky version.
So True North Arms had like a discount kit.
They had a discount kit
Maple Ridge Armory stuff.
Yeah, with the fore end was not matching the receiver. It was cheap though. That was a cheap build kit. This one was $1,900, which is more than the other ones. But for what you get on it, it's swanky. Holy crap! So first of all, it's not 8.5 pounds like they say. It is 8.15 pounds. So it's actually a little bit lighter than that.
Oh.
And when I say swanky, almost all the parts on this are a little bit swanky. They're not just like a standard mil spec, which means bad. We've got a brand name minimalist stock on the back. Brand name, I don't know what kind of grip this is, and I don't really care because I don't give a shit about grips. I put the trigger in. They gave me some mil spec thing that I promptly threw in the trash and put like
maybe that's where the extra weight went.
Yeah, and the trigger. Fancy ambi charging handle there. The upper and lower, like there's not really much to say about it. Matrix, it's just like a standard upper lower, but it's non-restricted. That's fancy. Standard BCG, and then we get to the real fancy stuff. And this is the stuff I would have wanted to put on a rifle like this, anyways. Maple Ridge Armory handguard, which is nice and soft and feels fantastic compared to some of the cheaper Chinese ones I've been known to use. It's got their fanciest $450 barrel, like a match grade barrel on this thing, and it's got their brake on there, which is nicely finished, about $100 for that. I priced out the parts on this thing. This is about $2,200 worth of gun that you get for $1,900, but you do have to put it together yourself, which took me, I don't know, an hour because I was like dicking around with some of this stuff during that time. Probably it would probably take you like an hour if you're watching YouTube and on how to do it, or half an hour if you're like really getting after it and you had all your stuff prepped and whatnot. I haven't got out to shoot it yet because coronavirus and my ranges are all shut down.
Yours are shut down?
Chaz and Sherwood Park are shut down. So I'm gonna go in the woods with this thing. I'm gonna go find me a little spot in the bush and go hammer some shots with this thing because I can't take it anymore, and I gotta get out there.
When you say spot in the woods, is that Crown land?
No, private land. I got some access to some private land I can go hit up. There's like no Crown land around Edmonton unless you drive really far. So yeah, I'm gonna head out to some private property to go shoot this thing. This one you can get it in 308. I got mine in 6.5 Creedmoor because I wanted the meme cartridge. Yeah. Yeah, not much else to say about it. I would say like if there's one thing that I would want to fix, and it's very small, it's that the pins, like the takedown pins, I don't know if you guys can see that, but they sit a little bit proud on top of the surface there. That front one does, and it just looks a bit off to me. I think it should be like in there. The rear one is fine. And then on the other
front
side,
pin should have a cut.
The front pin should have a cut. You're right. Yes, it does not. It's just round.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's just the wrong pin.
Yeah. I think so. So I'll get proper pins.
Wait, did you put the front one in the back and the back one in the front?
Nah, it doesn't. That doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
And then the rear one is actually not flush when it goes all the way through either. So I don't think the pins are quite right. But
I mean, instead of get a whole new pin, you could always just get the Dremel.
I can't because I would need to get there's like a little detent that rides in, the track that it rides in, so I would need to like bump that over as well, which I could do. So I have a Dremel.
The Dremel and the magnifying glass. I don't know.
Get real tricky in there with that Dremeling, but all in all, this is the kit if you want to get like a swankier AR-10 build. Because if you get a Stag 10 factory one, it's like $1,900, $2,000 anyways, and it's not going to be as swanky in terms of parts. There is, I think they have like a Lev 2 6.5 Creedmoor or something like that, which has pretty good parts in it, but it's $2,200, and it doesn't have a $500 barrel on it either. It has a fancy barrel, stainless something or other, but not quite as fancy.
Oh
I don't know if it
what
would
the
make
fuck
a
is the
difference.
video?
It probably doesn't make a difference. What are you saying?
I'm looking for the live stream somewhere.
It's up. There's 3 people watching.
Oh, I'm about to make it 4.
Yeah. But it would be easier if we just did a live stream on the page rather than in an event for the page. It'd be easier to find.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm having difficulties finding this stupid thing somewhere.
I'm gonna chuck a scope on there. I have one. I was weighing it and I wanted to see what it would weigh. And then I just got finished Loctiting the screw on this gas block. I think we've been seeing on the CanadaGuns Reddit there, a bunch of people have been having their pistons break on these things, and some people were saying the gas block can move, so that that screw, if it starts to back out, this gas block can move, and then your piston snaps. I'm just using this for hunting, so I'm not going to put a ton of rounds through it. I don't really if I was going to shoot it a bunch, I'd probably sell it, and I'd probably replace it with one of the other NRARs out there, just because from what I'm seeing with other people, the durability may not be there. But for hunting, I'm going to use this to go shoot coyotes. It's fine. I'll shoot a couple rounds a year, smoke a couple coyotes, and that'll be fine for that. I don't think I have anything else. I think that's it for me.
Oh, there you go. Crazy. You done anything gun related lately?
I loaded some 357. I loaded 150 rounds, got bored, and so I haven't loaded the next 150 that I prepped. They're just kind of sitting in the room waiting for me to get off my lazy ass and fucking load them. Other than that, Doug Ford closed all gun ranges a week and a bit ago here. So since the last fucking video, gun ranges are not an essential service, so they're all closed, but gun shops are an essential service.
Fuck yeah,
Because,
they are.
hunting and fishing were deemed essential services, and the supply chain to supply hunting and fishing is also therefore an essential service, which means gun shops are an essential service in Ontario. I was going to buy a motorcycle, and then the bike shop closed. Then they opened again for online orders, and now I'm debating if I want that motorcycle or one that has more modern amenities on it, like a fuel gauge.
Why don't you get a used motorbike for your first one?
It's my second, and this one was going to be used, but it has no fuel gauge. And I've already owned a bike with no fuel gauge, and it was a pain in the ass.
No, you
Yeah,
just
that's
you
what
sit on top of it, you swish it side to side, you feel if it jiggles a lot afterwards. that's how much fuel you got in there.
You've got eyeballs, right? I mean, you just kind of look inside, right?
Yeah, hold the lighter over top the fuel tank.
Yeah, you need a fuel gauge lighter. That's what you need.
I've
There
only
is.
had one motorcycle that's had a working fuel gauge. All the other ones didn't. I would just never bother replacing it. I've had 5 motorbikes. Very inexpensive motorbikes, might I add.
Yeah, no, this one just has no
Adrian-
fuel gauge. It doesn't even have a warning light on the shit. It has no indication whatsoever.
It
And
does. No, wait, it does. It runs
It
out of
turns
fuel.
off. Yeah,
And then
exactly.
you gotta turn it to reserve.
I had that happen.
You turn it to reserve,
see,
and then you.
My old bike's reserve didn't work.
Oh, that's.
I
a
turned to
problem.
reserve and nothing fucking happened. So
So why don't you just carry a water bottle full of gas, and if you're in the highway, it's oh shit, it's out. Then you open the cap, you pour it
that's
in.
what I would be having to do regardless if I end up getting the bike I was looking at, just because I'd be so fucking worried about fuel anxiety. The thing only apparently has a 220 kilometer range on the fucking tank.
Sounds to me like
so
that's a you problem.
Yeah, so I'm debating, do I buy the Suzuki that I was looking at, or do I spend a little bit more money on some modern shit that has a fuel gauge?
What kind of Suzuki you looking at?
I was looking at a Boulevard S40, and I'm debating if I should get that or if I spend a bit more money. And there's a couple of KTM RC390s that are pretty decently priced, but it's a completely different style of bike. And then up from that, there's some 2019 Kawasaki Z400s, which I like the look of better than the RC90, but I don't
The
know.
S40 is a single.
Okay, this is gun related because you're gonna take that bike to the gun range. Moving on.
Of course I am.
This is a single cylinder
650cc.
650. My God, what the hell?
It's basically, my last bike was a Marauder 250. It's basically just a scaled up Marauder, so I'd be buying the larger version of my last bike.
Neat.
That all crazy?
It's basically it, yeah.
Nice. Hey, lighting.
Lighting.
You've done
All right.
anything gun related lately?
Well, I just got things, and since you guys haven't heard from me before, I can talk about all my old shit like it's new shit.
But if you've done anything lately
minute.
with that shit.
Have I done anything lately? Yes, I bought your GSG 16.
Oh, did you? Right, you did.
Right, yeah. And that is an ongoing project, which thankfully has all been paid for before I lost the job today. But it's getting the full short barrel Delask treatment. I'm gonna turn it into a nice little MP5 club.
I saw that on the sub. That looked so sexy.
Oh,
Yeah.
they look so good.
Yeah, so
They do.
I've got the short barrel on order. I'm in the batch that is they're profiling right now. I've got a slightly different muzzle device. So this is an airsoft one, but it's a tri-lug.
Oh.
Here, my beard
Yeah,
is
so
the
you can,
black
you can
hole.
take it out.
Yeah,
You
so
just
this
pull it
so
off,
it's
like with a click, huh?
yeah, so this is a tri-lug like if you were able to have a suppressor, but it goes in and it clicks on to the flash.
And is that
hider.
just Chinesian pod metal?
Yeah, it's an airsoft part.
It'll be fine
So
for
potentially
20K.
plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, so I mean it's metal of some kind. Who knows? But yeah, so that's going to go on there, and then I've got one of the unobtainium kits coming up from the States. I found someone to import it,
Nice.
and I managed to get that bought before the dollar crashed. So
Very
Good.
nice.
yeah, so Aztec's bringing that in for me.
Did you catch this month's import or is it next month's import?
It won't be till next month, or
Okay.
not. They don't do a monthly. They do like a quarterly, unless. They
Oh,
get
do
a-
they? I could have sworn they did monthly. Or maybe
No,
that was before they got into that deep shit.
Yeah, Aztec does like a quarterly or kind of a whenever they feel like it import, but their fees are cheaper than iRun guns. I've used iRun guns in the past, and I really don't mind them as long as you read their terms of service. You're perfectly fine. But it's
Yeah, I've used Aztec before too. They're a good company.
yeah, I prefer Aztec. Aztec brought in all my Garen parts as well that I ordered from the States, so they're good at facilitating the third party sales. I quite like them for that.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the new gun stuff, and will be the last new gun stuff for a while, unfortunately.
Yep. And welcome to the party, pal. You and another 1.5 million Canadians. Is it at now? What is the number at now?
Yeah, I don't know, a lot.
A lot. Yeah. Well, there you go. We'll talk about the rest of your guns in a bit. What have I been doing? I went to Cabela's. Like I said, they only let 25 people in at a time. And I bought more projectiles for 223 because I want to load some of the piles of brass that I have on a single stage, so that'll be fun. Also, I cleaned all the brass that I needed for the 223. I cleaned all my 357 brass. That brass is on its third loading, and I'm expecting it to go out to like its sixth or seventh loading, as far as I understand. I have never bothered to trim that 357 brass because pistol brass doesn't really expand much, and because 357 has a roll crimp, then when you crimp the mouth of the case, it takes off a little bit of brass anyway. So it's kind of like a twofer. You know, you do your own trimming and your crimping at the same time. It's not supposed to be done that way, but fuck if I'm gonna be spending 20 minutes fucking around with pistol brass trim links. So fuck that.
Yeah, I don't trim mine, but I just have a factory crimp die.
Yep. I also cleaned up my 30-06 brass, and I tried to resize it, and promptly got a case stuck in the die about halfway through my resizing of the brass that I had. Luckily, as I thank myself profusely after, I had already bought this stuck case removing kit from RCBS, which works fan-fucking-tastically. If you have a drill, which I didn't, so I had to go buy a hand drill. because you have to drill out the base of the brass to make a hole, and then you thread, and then you thread the hole, and then you put a screw in it, and that's what actually draws out the brass. You can see here. Let's see if I can see it pretty good. Yeah, there it is. So that's not supposed to be there. That's the entire rim of the case ripped up around the shell holder.
Man,
Well,
that
that-
and it really folded it over there.
Oh yeah, it was
What kind
not.
of lube
It
were
was.
you using?
I was using one shot.
So I have not had good luck with one shot except for like low pressure resizing.
So I would not be recommending it, except for the fact that I know exactly what happened. I did the instructions. I put them all on a loading block. I gave him a squirt, turn him 180 degrees, give him a squirt on the other side at 45-degree angle to make sure that the shit gets into the mouth of the case, and I gave it a squirt up in the die. And like I said, I waited, like the thing says, you wait a minute or two, wait for the propellant or whatever the fuck it is in there to evaporate, and then you start. And like I said, I was processing 100 of these motherfuckers. Actually, no, 70 of these motherfuckers. And about halfway through is when it started to get really tough, and when I ripped up the case. And whatever, I got the fucking thing out. I reloaded the block. I gave it more lube. I gave the die more lube, and got another one stuck. So that was 2. Exact same issue. Fucking thing gives away. It was tough to put in, and when I got it in a little too much, I tried to pull it out, and it ripped up the case. So that sucked. I threaded another one. I got it out, and promptly got another case stuck. So that's 3 cases. So at that point, I realized that there was something off. And I looked inside of the mouth of the case, and in the case, there was a whole bunch of shavings and shit from all the brass when I was cutting it with the drill. And in the inside of the die, there was a whole bunch of shit from all the cutting of the brass. And I thought, I used penetrating oil to help me get those cases out. So not only were there shavings of brass in the die, there was also another element in the mix. So I disassembled the die completely. I cleaned it with soap, and I re-lubed it with the one shot, and I re-lubed the cases, and I managed to do the other 35 cases absolutely no problem.
I don't want
Even
I don't
easier
wanna,
than before.
I don't want to recommend another product, but if you a very cheap thing to do would be to try some Lee sizing lube. It comes in like these little white containers. They're super cheap. I would try just a little bit because you might find I found that one shot I couldn't get it to, like, it was way too sticky. It offered way too much friction. That crappy Lee stuff is slick, and it the thing about doing a rifle cartridge is that the more resistance you put, the more you're gonna shape the case, right? And it will lessen the life and require more trimming if you're drawing them out. So on the inside of the neck, if that is causing a lot of resistance, you'll actually pull the case taller, and then you'll need to trim the mouth more. So I would try a different lube just because it's like, I don't know, I think they're $3 or $4. If you're going to be at Cabela's anyways, I would just try something else.
You should say that they didn't have one shot. Cabela's, but they did have the Lyman case lube.
Oh.
So I'm going to try that.
No, that's
I'm just your order of operations is backwards. You should be trimming after you resize.
Yes.
Yes, no, but what he's saying is when you resize it, if you're pulling on it a lot, it's going to lengthen your case a lot.
Right, but you're saying you had brass in there from doing your trimming, and then
no,
that's
trimming.
brass
from drilling the hole
out the base of the cartridge.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No,
sorry,
there was a pile of shit, and that's when I reread the case or the can of one shot, and it says make sure to clean up your die before and after use, because you don't want to leave crap in there.
That's what they always say. I don't know who actually does that stuff.
I think I'm gonna have to start because I honestly think that I resized 30-06 brass like a year or like 2 years ago, and I left those dies as they were. Put the lube on the brass, put the lube in the die. Like I said, it ran just fine for the first 30 or so cases. On the last 5, they started feeling weird, and on the last one, it ripped up the rim.
This is why I like carbide pistol dies. You don't gotta lube the cases going into them. And
Nope.
You can get them dirty as shit on the inside, and they still fucking work.
But if you use some of that one shot on the pistol stuff, man, it's slick. Oh, that's what I do. I'll get like a big. I've got all my 9mm brass in a big kitty litter bin, and I just give it a quick spray of that one shot. And it doesn't get them all, but it gets the odd one. And running those through, nice and slick, nice and.
Yeah, no,
I just fucking give her.
I am particular in how I do my reloading, in that I deprime before I clean, so I don't have dirty cases in any of my dies. So even my pistol or rifle, I deprime. It sucks because I have to pick out the media out of the fucking flash hole sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's just whatever. That step is shorter than depriming after and then cleaning up the flash holes myself.
It's called how do I know you don't have a progressive press?
Yes. So I'm already stuck using the single stage. I'm gonna use the single stage to make probably 1,000 rounds of 223 because I found those berry bullets. It's actually a 500 count for like $50.
Mhm.
So that's cheap projectiles. The brass is free because it's just whatever I have collected. Except don't collect federal brass because they use the same brass they use in their 5.56. That's mil spec. So their fucking primers are
Crimped?
Crimped.
Oh, that's most of the 5.56 you'll find is going to be crimped.
Yep. But it's 223. It's even the federal 223 has got fucking crimped primer.
Why not, right?
Yeah,
I've got the equipment anyways.
I bought a primer decrimping tool when LeBaron went out of business, so I have that around somewhere.
Yeah, I have it too, and I did 100 cases of
They're a pain in the
federal, and then
ass.
I realized, fuck that noise.
Yep.
My Remington brass doesn't have a crimp on it,
Yeah,
so
see, I have a bunch of this Chinese 5.56 brass
fuck
that I
that
kept
shit.
for some reason.
I would not recommend you using that because that Chinese shit is way over hot. I've had primers blow out. I've had primers not go off in rifles that don't have enough.
I mean, this one's
kick
got
on
a
the
hole
firing
through it.
pin. Yeah, there you go. See, I would not recommend using that.
I have one that burst the case as well.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, that was fun. I processed all the 30-06 brass. I was cleaning the 223 brass, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to do the trimming and the resizing of the brass. And then I found a bag of like 500 223 brass that I already prepped who knows how long ago. So I don't have to process any of the brass that I clean because I already have processed brass. So I am gonna move on to priming that 223 brass. I have to resize the 357 brass and prime it, and I have to cook up a load for the 30-06 Tika. I'm gonna cook up a load for the RDB because it's got a 20-inch barrel, and I want to see what kind of ballistics and performance you can get out of loading for an RDB, however stupid that might sound. And then I gave myself another project, which, by the way, I'm also in Lighting's current situation of being fun employed. I have become a woodworker. Look at that. Look at that. It's gonna see if I can do it. Oh yeah, see that? Those holes were not lining up at all with this here recoil pad. Oh, there's the screw. It's a grind to fit recoil pad. So I had to cut the holes that were already on the stock off. I put in a dowel and some wood glue, waited a long enough time, made new channels for the screws, and now I'm in the spot where I have to flatten this to be perfectly smooth. I got creative and I tried to save myself some time by cutting a section of the recoil pad, but that doesn't yield very good results, so I'm gonna have to go fucking with sandpaper. It's gonna take fucking forever, but it should have a very nice finish, and this will be my test/trial run at doing this grind to fit shit, because my dad was gifted a shotgun, but it doesn't have a recoil pad, and he doesn't have a license, so it's my shotgun. So I want a recoil pad on my shotgun. That's my dad's. So I just bought the other recoil pad to do. for his shotgun, but I have to do a trial run because I've never done this kind of thing before. And I already kind of screwed up once by doing that bit of cutting. It will make the top of the recoil pad be a little bit wonky, but if I do the right way for the rest of the going around the recoil pad, it should look pretty nice. Any of you guys ever installed one of those things before?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, you put a little bit of not a little bit, a lot of masking tape on the wood so you don't mess that up as you're grinding it to fit. Now the real way to do that. Tape the actual stock, install the butt pad, grind it until you're hitting paper, and take it off for your last fit and finish. Just the last little bit of polishing up. If you've got a sanding belt like installed on a bench, that's the killer. Like that's the I want to do this in 10 minutes. That's the way to do it. If you don't have that, a belt sander, a mouse sander, something like that will do, but it will take longer to do a good job of it. Yeah, but otherwise it's like you need something like a belt sander of some kind to really grind that rubber away, or else it'll take forever.
Yep.
Or you just grab a big knife and start trying to slice it.
See, that's kind of what happened the first time. I'm not making that mistake for the rest of the go around.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that for my dad.
Yeah, Mark Novak, the CN Arsenal guy, he's got a whole video on it.
He used to. I looked it up. I'm pretty sure he had to pull that one off YouTube.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I literally looked it up because maybe I looked it up a few months ago, but it's not there anymore.
Maybe you looked it up when CN Arsenal had their channel deleted.
No, they didn't have their channel deleted. When CN Arsenal still had Primer on their channel, there were a number of episodes that were removed when they started cracking down on gun manufacturer or whatever the fuck those videos are.
Well, and they self-deleted some of them because they didn't know which one they were was at fault.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, I know exactly what you're talking about, lighting. That's why I wanted to try this. This is a piece of shit 870 stock that's going on a piece of shit Wingmaster that's gonna be living in on top of my fireplace at some point. So this is the perfect tester for taking up a few hours of my time while I have nothing better to do than collect a paycheck thanks to the government. Yep. That's been my last couple of weeks. One thing that I did want to talk about before we get into Lighting's collection. Does anybody know with any degree of certainty if Crown Land is closed?
Can't be.
No, it can't be.
Right. But there's a post last night asking if people could still go out and shoot in the Crown Land. And some of the comments were saying the website says you're not allowed to use any amenity such as a
Parks.
staging area or a parking lot that they have there, and you don't have access to any of the trails that are associated with those areas. And in the comments, there was somebody saying that they were out there on Saturday or Sunday, and that it was absolutely fucking packed. So
yeah, there's nowhere else to go.
nowhere else to go.
The ranges are closed.
Oh yeah, speaking about that, my range isn't closed
Yet. It will be.
Yet.
How do they guarantee that there's less than 15 people gathering there?
because the range is for FUDs, and the FUDs don't go out there in winter. I've literally ever seen like the max amount of people I've seen at that range was during my fucking range orientation, where there were like 15 people there. Every other time, it's deserted. I'm pretty sure they're gonna cancel events. Not that there's any events because it's a FUD range, and all the events only start up in the late spring, early summer. So there you go. How about you, Lighting? Any of your ranges closed?
Nanaimo closed this last week, and I think Abbotsford did as well. I don't know. I'm not one of the mainland ones did as well.
Has John closed his?
As far as I know, Wandafugue is still open, and Vic Fishing Game is still open. So Vic Fishing Game, we've shut down every other table on the rifle range firing line. No new shooters, so no instruction. So basically down to members only.
Mm-hmm.
Any of the major events have all got canceled. We've canceled all of the training sessions, and we're working on getting some of them going online. So that is the current focus. Is we're hoping to get at least the orientation course available on a weekly basis as an online course.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, and then we're looking at multi-purpose range is still open, but we're enforcing pretty hard rotations on it because those are you can basically book individual bays. So you can book a bay for yourself and your two closest friends or family members. Sorry, and that is isolated enough.
Mhm.
But we're enforcing pretty strict turnover. So if there's a waiting list, where everybody gets a couple hours, and then we boot you out.
You know, maybe not on this show, but I think on another show, we got to see all those rifles you got with bayonets on them, because there are a lot over there.
There's a couple sitting in the background.
There's some old timey stuff with some stabby stuff on it.
Why don't we do it now? What's wrong with doing it now?
Well, because it would take me all day to get through that list.
Well, see, we're not gonna go into great detail. We're just gonna knock them out. You're gonna get like 2 minutes per gun. Okay, that's gonna be your limit.
I'll hang on a sec here. Let me see if I can fish I've kind of got my webcam looped in amongst everything here, so I'll show you my little display here.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is my Swiss rifle catalog and Swiss display. It is a work in progress. I've had issues in the last year here with moths. The two backpacks here. They are cowhide, so they're hair. And the skinny one here, it came in with moth larva on it. And so it's been a constant battle of trying to get things treated to try and keep the moths down. I'm ahead of it now, but let me just tell you, I've learned some things about moth treatment in the last 6 months that I didn't know would ever be a problem in my life. But apparently, when you start collecting old wool things, you get moths. And then the rack over here is all rifles. There's, it's all Swiss in the rack. And then down in the bottom, we've got some of the knickknacks. So I've got a helmet and some hobnail boots. Got different chargers, different cases, different hats. I got some different cases over there for some of the different things. And then the uniform there is, he is set up to be a medic, actually. So I lucked into a uniform for cheap on like an auction, and wound up with a medic uniform. So I went, screw it, let's find all the medic-y bits. So I've actually got pretty much over the last year, I've pieced together pretty much all the medic specific parts for him, and I actually have almost a full loadout, including the pack, right down to the actual medical pouch, which isn't on him right now. So they wouldn't actually carry the magazine pouches on the medic. He'd have his medical kit on one side and then just a straight strap on the other. But I actually can't find the little leather strap that would accommodate the other side. I haven't been able to find that yet because there's a pair of suspenders that he's wearing. So I haven't actually.
Why the Swiss stuff?
You know what? It was I owned a K31, and in rapid succession, I acquired 2 Vetterlis and 2 1889s, and then I just went, you know what? Screw it. Let's do Swiss.
Those 1889s are cool, eh? Like an assault rifle of the olden days.
Yeah. So I got a pair of 1889s, a K31. I got 3 Vetterlis. Yeah.
What are you doing to reload for the 1889s? Are you like paper patching? Or are you just running a 309 at really low pressure?
Honestly, I've got all the bits, and I haven't actually had time to put the rounds together yet.
Now you do.
Now I do, yeah. So I got to get on that. I've got. I actually went out and bought a bunch of privy rounds, 7.5 rounds. Shot them all and turned them down.
Yep.
So I've got those all ready to go. And then there's a company.
Wait. Let's pause for a second. Why do you need to turn down 7.5 Swiss to run it in 1889s? Just start there.
You technically don't. You can just run it as is.
Technically, the
technically,
1889 was
why not?
like half a millimeter smaller.
And much lower pressure. It was a paper patched round. it's you can't run them at high pressure.
Well, you can. Maybe once.
Once.
You can do it once.
That's an 1889 round right there.
Stick your hand
That's
right
an
behind
original.
it and let the camera
Yeah.
focus on the round. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you can see the paper on it, right?
You can see the paper patch on that.
Yeah.
So that's an 1889 round from. No, that one doesn't actually have. 1909 on that one.
Yeah, I had good luck running reloaded 308 cast bullets. I just didn't resize them, so I didn't squish them down to your typical 308. I left them nice and big, and they ran great in my 1889s.
Yeah, so I actually there's a company I think at a Red Deer called Jet Bullets, and he cast me up a whole pile of them.
Oh, cool! There you go.
Yeah, because I didn't have the ability to cast or lube or size, so you can literally just send them. I need it to be this hardness, this size, this weight, gas checked, lubed, and he'll do it all and send them to you.
So what's the diameter of 7.5? Is it like one of those 311s, like with the Lee Enfields, or is it like a slightly different size?
It's basically just a 308.
It's 308.
Okay.
I ran mine a bit bigger because the bores looked nasty, so I thought, I'll run them at like just a little bit bigger, just to squeeze into the chamber better.
I slugged the bores on these, and they're pretty close. So.
Does standard GP11 work in a K11?
Yes, standard GP11 will work in a K11.
Do you have a K11? Because I noticed you mentioned the Vetterli, the 1889, and the K31.
Yeah, there's a K11, a G11, a 9611, two 1889s, an 1881 Vetterli, and two 69 or 6971 Vetterlis.
Now, are you attempting to find ammo for the Vetterlis?
So I've actually got all the stuff now to reload the Vetterlis.
It's what, 41 rimfire or something like that?
41 rimfire.
41 Swiss rimfire.
Yeah, but you can cut down and fire form everything on 8mm label brass.
Which is wildly more available than 41 Swiss.
Yeah, so you have to do a centerfire conversion on the Vetterlis, which will remove the antique status, first of all. So I actually have one of the two 6971 Vetterlis that I have has a really good bore on it, but the rest of it is kind of shit.
What is the caliber limit for the centerfire antiques?
It's not a caliber limit.
No, it is a caliber limit.
No, it's an availability. It has to be a certain...
No, it's a caliber limit. It says centerfire rifles with a diameter above X.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Really?
Last time I looked it up, converting these would take them out of antique status.
Now there's two minds on that, because the RCMP they used to allow you to like convert a Colt. If you got a Colt 45, if you converted it, they used to allow that to become an antique, but then they decided no, it has to have been an antique initially. So there's kind of two minds on that, but let me just double check this.
So, anyways, I've got all the stuff. I've acquired a set of dies for that. I've acquired the brass. I've got the projectiles. Same company, Jet Bullets. They cast up a set of bullets for me. It's just I've got to find the time and put the work in to do it all. I've got a pile of original rounds too for that.
But you don't want to use those.
No, not particularly, but I do have them.
I'm so glad you came on this show.
That's
So
That's
what weight projectile did those stonkers carry?
Honestly, I'd have to look up what I ordered. I can't remember.
So
If that's just solid lead,
Yeah,
that's got to be
solid
like
lead,
200 grains.
Oh yeah, they're big, 224, something like that.
So I checked, and what it is it doesn't actually matter what diameter the bore is if the gun has a magazine. If it's center fire and has a magazine, it's not an antique.
Yeah, so these have.
So that would be why it
tube
has a
mag in
magazine.
them.
Yeah.
So,
Which is really fucking.
Wait,
dumb.
are the Mauser 71s then considered not, or are considered antiques because they don't have a magazine? They're just single shot black powder.
Yes. If the bore diameter is greater than 8.3 millimeters, measured from, I think it said land to land.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So, anyways, I'm going to do a center fire conversion on them, which is actually pretty simple because they're a striker fired rim fire. So you can cut down the little forked rim fire pin, stick a needle out the middle, harden it up, and away you go.
Oh, there you go. It's just simple, right?
It's actually pretty easy. Yeah, there's 5 million tutorials on how to do it, and it's actually not bad.
You could do 5 million in one if you do.
So, are you
5 million
going to source new firing pins to retain the original antique firing pins, or?
Well, no. He's already got all the parts. He's just gonna have a loner bolt, drill that one out, put a firing pin.
I'm not actually going to have a loner bolt. I thought about doing that. I actually bought a parts Vetterly. I found a guy who was selling one for like $100 that had no wood on it. It was just the metal. And so I was going to take the bolt out of that, refit it, and do it. But it's the hand fitting on these is just enough that you really can't interchange the bolts. Yeah. So the one of those is going to get turned into a shooter. And it's going to be the one that has the nicer bore because it's been painted. Whoever owned it before painted all the metal on it with like barbecue paint. It looks fine. It looks fine until you get up close. The wood is fantastic on it, and if I stripped all the paint off of it, I'd actually have a decent gun underneath. But the bore is pristine, so that was going to be my shooter, and I picked that up for $120.
There you go.
I'm pretty happy about that.
There you go. You want to talk about any of the other guns you have?
You mean anything I got sitting in front of me right now? I've got a bit of a menagerie kind of laid out here right now. So. Oh,
look at that! You were excited about this. You got all prepared and shit.
I got all prepared.
Pull it out.
So if we keep on the Swiss track, I've got a couple of my revolvers here. So this is a 1929.
Are those the ones with shaved hammers that Tradex was selling?
No, these are. This one's like was never fired when I got it. 1929. Yeah. They made a whole pile of these and then just never used them.
It's a Nagant-ish thing.
Nagant-ish, yeah. So it's got an Aberdy loading gate here. So that's how you reload is you pull the trigger, which is super unnerving to a lot of people. But it's I shoot 32 Smith & Wesson long in it, and then I am starting to reload for this. You can cut down 32-20 Starline brass for it. So again, I've got all the bits, I just haven't done it yet because I haven't run out of 32 Smith & Wesson long yet, but I actually shoot these pretty regularly. So I've got that one, and then I've got the 1882 model as well, which is just a little more steampunk.
Nice.
And that's about the only difference. It's the same gun. But actually, this one here fits my hand a lot better. It's got the nice octagonal barrel. It's got the nice straw bluing. It does have a slight... it doesn't lock up quite as tight, but I mean, it is 100 and something years old. This one is just over 100 years old. When I looked at the serial number on this one, it was from the First World War. So that was kind of cool.
Look at that. It might have actually been shot in anger.
No, because it's Swiss. It may have been shot over anger over some fondue, but not actually towards an enemy. What else do I got kicking around here? You just want me to keep going?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is my little James Bond fetish gun that I got. This is an Irma 752. Which is a PPK clone in 22. And of course, I bought it about a week before
Tactical imports.
Yeah, Tactical Import started bringing those bursts in. So I kind of had to go full commitment on this. I got it for super cheap. The guy was selling it because it was, I mean, it ran, but in a loose sense of the word.
A bullet can be discharged from the firearm.
Yeah,
in theory.
It didn't cycle or hold open or, work all that well, but I got it relatively cheap. And then I just wanted it because it was the closest thing I could get to a PPK, and I've always wanted one.
That's why I bought a Bursa.
Yeah. And then I found a company in the States selling a full parts kit for the American version of this gun, which is the RX-22. So for $110 US, I picked up a complete part kit for this. It was everything but the frame. Literally every piece but the frame. So I tore this apart and replaced every piece that was a backyard bodge job on it with all the new parts, and now it runs like it's a brand new gun. So
Nice.
it's perfect. It runs
Because
great.
it might as well be a brand new gun.
It might as well be a brand new gun, but honestly, it is a ton of fun. It is basically like one-handed at 25 yards. It's actually fun to shoot. It groups relatively well, and it's a challenge. It's a fun little gun to play around with, and it's got the heel release on it, which is kind of nice.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It's a bespoke gun now.
Yeah. So I quite like it. I quite enjoy that this here is the only thing keeping it from being illegal.
Yeah.
The ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah, that difference right there, that is keeping me from putting it in my pocket, apparently. So
Yeah.
Did PPKs have the heel release originally back in the day? Because I thought they were always the button.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't. But
So
this
I
is
do
the heel
know that
release, and
my
I kind of
shotgun
like it.
is
It's very Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pick that one up. I quite like it. I've been shooting that one a lot. It actually runs quite well now. And the last thing I've got sitting with me here is just because I've got a story with it. This is my 1911 that
Oh boy.
that I run for competition. So it's a 9mm. It was originally a Seraphim Armory, and now it is a lot of other things. So at the end of the year last year, I was shooting a match, and it was like the third last stage of the match, of the last match of the year. And all of a sudden, bang, whole gun freezes up. And, well, there's a mark. That barrel's not supposed to be like that.
Stick your hand behind the barrel to focus on it. Oh, there you go. That's your problem right there.
Yeah. So if you actually look down the barrel, that actually follows the twist in the grooves.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And it wasn't a squib. So I actually have the case here. So that's the end of the case. So you can see it's not.
Yeah.
It's a normal case, and the case is just ruptured, but it's bulged. So we figure it might have been an out-of-battery detonation, but nothing definitive. But it cracked the slide. It actually cracked the slide right at the end of the ejection port, and so the slide was not salvageable.
So if it was an out of battery, I don't think your barrel would have popped like that. I think the case would have ruptured. You would have had gas go down into your mag well and that kind of thing and mess up your mag. I don't think that was an out of battery.
Yeah, the theory, the gunsmith
That's
likes
a
the
double
other.
charge, brother.
It roasted your barrel. Your barrel wasn't to spec or had a micro crack in it or something like that, and it cracked open your barrel.
Yeah, my theory, the gunsmith likes the out of battery theory.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is that the barrel cracked on the previous round, and that this one was the next one to go off in there, and that's why it obturated into the crack.
Maybe. Yeah.
So I think this is the round that was jammed in there, but I think the previous one was the one that.
So
it blew
not
up
to
on.
shit on you, but you reload your own ammo, don't you?
This was factory CCI Blazer breasts.
So did you contact CCI?
I did not, because I have no way of making a claim. Don't have a case that would suggest that their ammo was at fault, so I didn't bother doing that.
Okay.
That's not worth me raising a stink over that. Seraphim Armory and their maintenance depot, which is Canis Customs, were helpful as they could be. They offered to fit a new barrel for me. If I bought the materials, they offered to fit the barrel for me for free. But they weren't going to warranty the gun because it wasn't. I wasn't the original owner. I was the third owner of this gun. So who knows what the other guys were running? Maybe somebody was running plus P in this thing at some point and
Bubba's pissing hot hand loads.
Yeah, exactly.
9mm major.
9mm major. so who knows? But basically, to get this thing back up and running again for a competition year that now probably isn't going to happen, I'm $900 into that gun again.
Whoa.
But
So the moral of the story is don't buy 1911s.
so
You should have just got a Glock, bro. Unsupported chambers would have saved you.
To be fair, a bunch of that 900 was a 3-pound trigger pull, which just breaks like glass. There's no take up at all. I took the opportunity to put a really nice match barrel in there. I replaced a whole bunch of stuff with basically anything I could buy off Delask's website and get it nicely fit. I got everything custom fit. So the 900, I actually, for what I've paid into this, I've wound up with a lot more expensive gun than what I actually put into it. So
Yeah.
the end result is good.
That reminds me of a certain bespoke 1911.
And just the last thing I'll show you guys today is this,
Ooh.
which is something I picked up. I helped someone with an estate last year who was clearing out a whole bunch of stuff. And this is a round of 55 boys.
Oh, very
Nice.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So the gentleman who had passed was a member of our collectors organization that Crover used to be part of when he lived out my way. And his daughter called me up to help categorize.
Not my daughter, the guy's daughter.
Yes, the guy's daughter called me up to help categorize some of the stuff that he had, and he was an ammunition collector. That was his main thing. But he was former Canadian military back in the day, and had a lot of. Let's put it this way: we wound up having to call the base, and they had to come take some stuff away because he probably shouldn't have had it. So there was a trunk that had probably 15 rounds of 55 boys in it, and it's all good, it's all live. And I just mentioned to her, I'm like, if you want to not, like, if they were going to auction a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, if you want to sell one of those rounds on its own, let me know. I'd like to just have one just as a collector's piece. And at the end of the whole thing, she just gave it to me.
Okay.
As a thank you for helping out. So that was
Why
was
don't you
really
tell
quite
people
nice.
how much those things are worth?
Well, it honestly depends how much those things are worth. So you can find them anywhere from $50 to about $200 US. So $1 million Canadian now. This here is like one Costco roll of toilet paper right now.
Yes, the reason that is because the 55 boys is just different enough that you really cannot replace it with boys rifles. It's people usually just go ahead and swap out the barrel and put a 50 BMG barrel in because
A lot of that conversion was actually done for U.S. import regulations because 55 boys is considered a destructive device, and 50 cal is the upper limit for destructive device, according to the NFA. So for it to be U.S. compliant, they will convert it to 50 cal.
The other thing is it headspace is off of this kind of.
Oh, it's a
belt.
belted cartridge.
Yeah. So it has a different head spacing than 50. So it's actually,
Stick your move it a little bit away from the camera. There you go. Come on.
No.
Move it back and forth.
Camera
No, it doesn't want
knows.
to.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah.
So, for those of you that didn't read through the entire Canadian Firearm Safety Manual, there is a different type of headspace out there. Some guns headspace on the rim if they're a rim cartridge. Some guns headspace on the shoulder if they're a regular more often than not regular kind of gun. But there is also a third kind of head spacing, and that is off of a ring of material at the base of the cartridge that is not the rim at the base of the cartridge, and that's what they call belted ammo. Usually, if I understand correctly, it's for the higher caliber stuff or for the magnum calibers. There's a bunch of those that have belted chamberings. There you go, little bit of knowledge in this piece of shit show.
Thanks, Teacher Crover.
No problem. Oh, speaking about teaching, all courses are canceled in the province of Alberta.
And Ontario.
Speaking of teaching, there is none.
There is none.
I hear BC is the only place still technically allowing it, but no one is actually hosting any.
Yes, there's actually the word didn't come down from the CFO, because courses are taught by instructors certified by the Alberta Hunters Association. The organization that pulled the plug was not the CFO, because they just tell
it was the AHO said don't do it.
No, it was not AHIA, AHIA, or the Hunters and Instructors Association.
Yeah.
AHIA. It wasn't AHIA. It was AHIA's insurer. AHIA's insurer said, "We are not going to insure you if you continue to carry out classes where people are gathering in numbers that are greater than what is currently being allowed."
Hey, can you do them online, Crover?
I keep thinking about how, and the problem is
No.
Why not?
Because I need to, as an instructor, I need to be there for the physical testing. I can teach the class online, but there is obviously a test.
Yeah.
There are 4 versions of the test that I can give out, and I cannot just hand those out online, because then there goes the test on it and it's out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
They refuse to let you make new ones. They just have 4 versions of the same test.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a practical component. If you remember, they're going to make you axe and prove a
Yeah.
pile of guns,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to be in the room with somebody.
During the course, they usually have you go through that as well during the course too. So can't have people axe and prove when they don't have a gun.
Yes. And since you can't just mail somebody a gun and have them axe and prove it, even if it's a stick, because all guns that are used in the course are not deactivated, they're just disabled, which means that they will not work in discharging a round, but they
pull a trigger.
will. But no, the trigger doesn't matter. But you need to have the mechanism work, which means you need to be able to cycle the action, load a magazine, and chamber a round.
Mm-hmm.
And that it contravenes the standard for deactivation, which is plug the barrel. You can't really put a round in the barrel and chamber it if there is nowhere for the round to go. And if, depending on when it was deactivated, it used to be that you could have a cock and click action, which means the trigger was, alive to an extent, but usually the bolt was not mobile, and they ask you to dephase the bolt and the firing pin and the chamber and the slide and just weld it all together in deactivated guns nowadays. So you can't use deactivated guns in the course. You can't even use airsoft guns. They have to be guns. It's really interesting. Yep. Yep.
I remember seeing some deactivated guns in a Japanese airsoft shop. They actually have the actions welded open on them.
Oh, weird. No, was this Canada or just somewhere else?
No, this was in an airsoft shop in Osaka when I was there, and I saw they had a fucking random bunch of like AKs and a PPS 43 on the wall, and all of them had the actions welded open.
Huh.
You can technically put a bullet in there.
No, they had the barrels were plugged.
The first round unplugs it.
Not
physics. Yeah.
No.
All right. Is there anything else that we'd like to? Oh, actually, we had questions. We had questions.
Yeah. We had some questions on the Reddit thread. We gotta hit those.
So, is it this evening or tomorrow?
It's this evening.
Yeah,
this evening.
31st, the Wednesday the 31st. Yeah.
What is the longest you guys have had to wait for an online non-restricted purchase to arrive? I ordered from Tenda, over a week ago, and from the sounds of it, I could be waiting quite some time. Tenda.
Well, I pre-ordered a rifle. Does that count? That was like 4 or 5 months. Does that count? It's not restricted.
I'm gonna say no.
My longest non-restricted or my longest restricted approval was 2 weeks.
Yes, non-restricted.
My longest restricted, from me ordering it to me receiving it, was a month and a bit, and that was Dr. Deals, I think, in New Brunswick.
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
because they waited on the paper copy to get to them, the paper transfer, not the online one or the email one or anything else, before they even started shipping it. And they're in like buttfuck nowhere, New Brunswick, so that took a while to get to me.
My longest NR was probably just a week because it was just like buy it from fucking Corwin Arms out in BC, and they just had to ship it. And then my longest restricted, I think, was probably 3-4 weeks or something like that.
This is a non-restricted.
Yeah,
for this guy,
that's what I mean. My non-restricted, the longest was a week. And
non-restricted, like I guess, would have been a pre-order when I pre-ordered that SLR, and it took a long time to show up. I literally received the package, opened, took a picture of it, and owned it for 2 hours before I sold it on CGN for $1,400.
Nice.
That's price gouging. You can't do that.
I still have the screenshots of somebody actually posting my ad on the SLR Facebook page saying, "This is the problem with people."
I saw that.
Yep.
I saw that ad too. Yep, posted that.
Doug Ford's gonna go and smack your pee-pee for price gouging.
Yeah. No, I think like when it comes to non-restricted, like right now, it's a little bit unprecedented. There's a lot of traffic, and when it comes to Tenda, you get a really good price. Their shipping may be fast, it may not. It really varies.
They might tell you to go fuck yourself and go research it on YouTube.
Correct.
But,
yeah.
That's
you're not
that's
paying
tangential.
you're not paying for the online customer service. You're paying for that price. That price is really good on most of their stuff.
I just go there in person because it's near my work, so I don't end up with these kinds of issues. They're perfectly fine people to talk to in person.
Yeah, but do they give you the secret handshake discount?
No, I've heard 2 stories about that, and one of them is that depending on which gun club you belong to, the other one is that they have like a WeChat group, but neither of those have been, neither of those can be proven.
Nope,
they're just allegations.
Yep, they're hearsay and speculation,
and you guys know that other like small gun shop owners give their buddies discounts for
Silverdale gives a discount on Mondays if it lands shooting supplies, which is based in Silverdale, like they're in the building at the front of Silverdale.
I bought Beowulf Max off them like 5
they give
years ago.
a 10% discount to Silverdale members, but only on Mondays.
All right. Yeah.
And then there's John, who might give you a deal or might not, depends on how he's feeling that day. Isn't that right, Lighting?
Well, see, John and I get along. I actually just emailed him today asking him how he was doing, how he's holding up, and he sent me back a whole thing about how he had a buddy. He's got a buddy in from Ottawa. What do you say? Doing fine, catching up on stuff, starting to clean my shop and bench, finding stuff I never knew I had. Buddy's in from Ottawa, so we're keeping building with his new project, which is an M1 Garand in 9.3 by 62.
Oh, nice! Love it.
Isn't that 9 point finish? What is it?
9.3 by 62. There's like a bunch of 9.3 by whatever the fucks from Europe, and they're all stupid.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently that's what he's working on. That's his isolation project.
Actually, I remember seeing I think it was on Guns. Somebody posted that somebody had built like a M1 Garand in like 458 lot.
458, yes, 458 something. I remember seeing that. It was there's a meme about it that floats around every so often.
Yep, it's that's a whole lot of round for semi-automatic action. But,
so when's someone going to build an M1 Garand in 6.5 Creedmoor?
Oh, didn't we make a joke of that for a while?
Sorry, M14 is what you build a 6.5 Creedmoor in because it's shorter.
Yeah, but they have 308 Garands, so that's
Yeah.
the whole thing. It was either 6F Creedmoor, or I was joking if I won the lottery I'd build one in 243.
I've heard of that. I've heard 243.
Yeah.
I bet you if I
And,
search 6.5 Creedmoor
Oh, we do have
Garands,
another
someone's
question.
got it.
Oh, so for me, technically, the longest I've had to wait for a gun was about 2 months, and then I never got it. But I can't talk about that. BCL Coyote. Any takers?
I
Fuck
was
no. It's BCL. What did you say? Like,
I was gonna say, do you want to? Did I ever publicly tell the story about the gun that never showed up? You
No,
know
but-
about it.
fuck. I don't remember it.
Okay, so it was back when the equipment exchange still existed.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I purchased a Winchester 94 off of a guy.
This was on the
And
CanadaGuns equipment exchange.
Yeah.
Not CGM.
yeah, and it never showed up. Guy kept feeding me BS. Thing is, he did it to. There was 3 of us. He had 3
Yep.
guns in the sale, and there were 3. He sold all 3 guns. 2 of us never got ours. One of them was a local pickup, and we got his PAL and his driver's license as part of the transaction. So we knew who he was and where he lived and everything.
Yeah.
And the guy who actually got his gun, like did the in-person pickup, verified that, yes, that was the guy that I picked this up from. So it's like we knew who he was, you know, and it actually took myself and the other guy who got scammed, it actually took us about 6 months to find a police officer that was willing to look into it. And when we finally did, the guy was amazing. Detective with the Toronto Police Force did a fantastic job, and hats off to him. He really stuck to it and got
You
everything
kind of
done.
just handed it over to him. Here's
So
the
what you're talking about is that there was a lot of buck passing around.
There,
Because I've
well,
had to deal with something like this before, where you talk to the RCMP. The RCMP tells you to talk to your local police force. The local police force tells you to talk to the people that are the places, like the guys from, and then that keeps going.
now my local police force, credit to them, they really wanted it. Like, I don't know if they were just bored or something, but the guy was like, he's like, oh, this is juicy. I really want to, like, it was a gun and it was on the internet and it was like, oh yeah, no, I really want to do this. He goes, but we can't figure out how we can make it our problem. So he kind of was the one that kind of tipped me off on how I should contact the Toronto guys and get things going. And then when we finally got everything going, I mean, it turns out this guy was a reserve constable in the Ontario Police. He was working security at a casino in Ontario. And like, we found his Twitter, we found his Facebook, we found like all his social media and everything. So we knew exactly who he was. And last summer, I got my money back. We finally got our money back on the whole
Did he get
thing.
charged?
He did get charged, and as part of his plea deal, he had to pay us back.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I've asked for more details because I'd like to actually do a write-up on it. And I've kind of been told that we just need to. He's outing him would be a problem.
Fuck
So-
that. Out him. Fuck
Yeah.
that shit. Because the thing is, like, what kind of plea deal did he get? Did he get jail time for stealing firearms from you guys?
Well, he
Probably
stole
not.
money.
He stole money.
He stole money. It was fraud. It wasn't. It was just that the medium of the transaction happened to
Is
be a
he
firearm.
still working as a security guard in a casino with a
I
security
doubt it.
clearance where he took a charge like that?
We don't know, but we do know that his boss perhaps got an email saying,
You got to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Fun.
but to be fair, the guy has a charge on his record that has to be related. Like, and obviously, he's not going to have a career in the police department anymore. That was his screw up. So, for $800, he just threw that part of his life away. I don't.
I
understand
don't get why people do this. It
Yeah.
makes no sense to me.
No.
desperate or lazy. Yeah, there's lots of
Lazy. It's from because I had to deal with it slightly since I was the moderator of the exchange. I think I had to forward all the conversations that I had to somebody on your behalf, lighting. So yeah, but yeah, no, that was just the guy was an idiot. The guy was an absolute idiot. Like the guy had a Reddit account. Like he wasn't even like his alt or anything like that. It was just his Reddit account.
And the thing is, he used that
Piles
Reddit
of
account, that username he used on his Reddit account, he used for all his social media. It was the
Yep.
same username
Ugh.
across all platforms.
Yeah.
So
Not very clever.
No.
What's also not very clever is taking a gamble on the BCL Coyote.
Don't
Yeah.
buy BCL.
Don't buy
BCL, man.
BCL.
Okay, so what would go wrong with this rifle?
What would go wrong with that rifle? They put it together fucking wrong.
Well, okay, so,
So
let's-
isn't this BCL building a Maccabee?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got a frame and receiver that was built in a shed, paired up with a company that's known to have product fucking quality control issues for the last decade. What can go wrong? Literally everything.
So how much experience do you guys have with the NEA or BCL AR-15 style? I've got some. The AR-15, the uppers and lowers could be okay. The bolts, no. The bolts, I've seen too many of them fail. I've seen too many lugs fail on them. Gas keys coming loose, that kind of thing. So the BCG is not a great BCG. The barrel are okay. Crudely finished. I don't think they do them. I think they have someone else do them for them. But like the flutes on them, if they come with flutes, are kind of nasty. It's serviceable. The price. Keep in mind the price that they're selling this for is very good. So if it has a crappy barrel on it, that's okay. It's got a forend of some kind on it, one of their forends. Who cares? And it's got a bunch of other crappy mil-spec parts on it. So it may be okay, but the problem is changing the trigger out in one of those Maccabees. You're limited on what you can put for a trigger kit in there because they don't take the cassettes in them, right? They've got like a trigger pack they put in.
Well,
correct?
I shouldn't say that. No, you can make cassettes work. You have to drill out the pack so that you can actually tighten the set screws on some cassettes. And you might have to widen the hammer trough.
There's some fuckery that you need to do to fit a cassette in there.
Yes.
Most firearms, you just drop the cassette in there and it works, and you've got a better trigger in your AR, a fantastic £1.50 or $3 a pound or whatever trigger you got in there. So I guess $1,500. The barrel is serviceable, but like not a match shooter by any means. The forend's probably fine. The upper and lower are probably maybe okay. Not to spec.
Nope. They don't know.
The BCG might not be to spec and might fail on you. I've seen too many of the NEA and BCL bolts fail. The 102s are having ejection problems still in the Mark 7s. I think we've been seeing a lot of Reddit posts this week specifically of guys.
Yeah, because the people that bought those things finally have time to go shoot them and figure out that they suck.
Yeah, they're taking those out, and we heard that the Mark 7s were better, and I think we're seeing a lot of the same problems. Weak ejection. That one guy was that from today, where I think he had a trigger spring break off in there.
Yes.
That was a trigger spring, right?
Trigger that had to be a part of the trigger spring. Yeah. The guy said that it was like it didn't like this ammo, it didn't like this ammo, it ran this ammo fine, then the gun seized up, and then I managed to open the gun, and a primer and a piece of spring came out.
I think that it wasn't a primer; it was like a chunk of metal.
Yeah, a chunk of lead,
and
and a piece of the spring came out, and they're like, "That's got to be from the trigger. There's no other springs anywhere in there."
Yeah, and I mean, like the in that comment thread, some people were saying like, maybe I need to like oil or no oil. That is a fucking red herring, and I've seen too many other BCL owners. Some BCL owners have BCLs that run, and they say, you got to keep them oiled up. But they don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about their gun, and most ARs like to be oiled up. But really, what's happening? What's happening is those other owners, their ejections weak, or the gas is they're not getting enough gas, the gas rings aren't sealing on them, and the bolt's not running properly, or there's some other problem. It has nothing to do with the oil on it, nothing to do with the lube, or whether it's cold or whatever. Any of this stuff, it doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. What matters is the gun's design or the quality of parts that's not working.
So what I'm hearing is that this thing's going to cost like $1,500, and so for $500 less, you can get just as unreliable of a gun if you buy a WK-180 instead, and you'll save $500 in the process.
Less AR compatible.
Yeah, they're not.
Right?
It's not a straight comparison because they're different beasts and they have different issues.
Yes. $1,500 is cheap for the Canadian market for a non-restricted 223. That's the thing. Like, it's actually like the price is very good. Just like the price is very good on the WK. Like, I don't know if any of those Spectre built ones that Wolverine is making, the WS MSRs or whatever, I don't know if they're having the reliability problems that the Kodiak made ones are with the piston and whatever else is going wrong, the soft aluminum sides and that kind of thing. So I think they definitely fixed the aluminum sides. They put steel side plates.
Wolverine's pairing up with Spectre Ballistics to make these?
No. Some other manufacturer in Ontario called
It's another Spectre. It's not Spectre Ballistics, it's just Spectre.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was quite a bit of confusion. I mistook them. Adrian mistook them on that post.
Yeah.
And he had to come in. Spectre had to come in and say, nope, that's not us. Somebody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
So maybe those ones are better, but we don't know. Like, we need to. I feel like after the original problems with the WK-180s, we need to get some people need to get some thousands of rounds on these things to see like what if they.
I
really
sold my
are
WK last week, and I had a first generation fucking 223 wild chambered gun, no issues whatsoever. I put maybe 2,000-3,000 rounds through that gun, no issues whatsoever. My buddy had a Gen 2. No, I had a Gen 1 that had warranty work done on it, so it had the 5.56 barrel and the non-magnetic threaded handle in it.
Yeah. And
that gun killed itself 3 times, 3 different ways. The piston broke right where everybody's pistons has been breaking. It sheared a lug, like straight up. It pooped out a lug from the bolt. And then the front takedown pin channel on the lower split.
Yeah.
So that's material issues on 3 different very crucial components.
Yeah, especially on the on the WK, like that you were talking about, that metal right here, like there's not a lot there, and that needs to be strong and properly tempered. Maybe tempered.
It needs to be the right.
It's
metal.
Aluminum. It needs to be the right thickness.
No, not all aluminum is the same, and they clearly didn't use the right amount and the right dimensions.
Yeah.
And the right kind, rather.
Yeah, but piston. Some people have been saying the gas block comes loose, and that's why, like, that coming loose and then the piston going like cockeyed into the receiver. That's what's causing it crack. It might just be materials as well. It's a bit of an odd way to do it. But again, like, this is a Gen 1, and I've been running mine just fine. It's 223 barrel, 223 wild, sorry, which doesn't run that federal independence, but that's okay. I got a bunch of other stuff. I'm using this for hunting. I'm using hunting ammo in this thing. It likes the hunting ammo. I get fantastic accuracy out of it, and I get that second shot or third shot on multiple coyotes if I need it with this thing.
Oh, yeah, I see you got the fixed carbine stock. Goodness.
Yeah, after I saw you had that, I was like, oh, I want that. It looks good. It's very functional. I don't actually want like a collapsible thing on a hunting rifle.
And with the extended recoil pad, the extended MOE recoil pad, it has got the same length of pull as an A2 stock.
Yep. Nice extended there. I've still got the mash hook sling mounts on there.
I should have probably shipped that gun with that. I forgot to include that.
Did you see what I changed while we were on air here?
Oh, why did you put him that way?
So, a buddy of mine did this, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that on mine too. And I just never got around to it. And I was like, on show, I'm like, I'm going to do that. So the whole idea is, if you fire this gun and your hand is right here, and you go to fire, the stupid selector gets in the way. It gets in the way of your finger. So you flip it upside down. and now it's not in the way. Now it doesn't get in the way of your finger, right? So I never use the other side. I always just use the left side because that's where my thumb is anyways. And yeah, now it doesn't get in the way.
Well, there you go.
Fancy.
So that's the BCL. Don't do it. Just don't.
So what are your alternatives? What else would you get? That
For
maybe
$1,500,
RDB,
a brand
maybe?
new RDB.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, you could get
58 and 223.
But the VZ is like not comparable. I've heard some
I
other people
know.
say that it's 5-round mags. It's not easy to
It's-
You
stow.
can get the
there's an asterisk, but
LAR
you can get the
conversions.
Stanek kit, and you can run Larmax
Okay.
in it. But
Costs
it
more
has to
money.
be. It's more money, yes, but they're cheaper. They're $1,000 usually, 1,000 to 1,200.
Uh-huh.
But the Magwell adapter kit, I think it's another $100 to $200, and you don't have a guarantee that it'll work.
Can't change the trigger. Can't ever change the barrel.
No.
Stock you can, but you're really like looking at like you got a couple of folder or the Beaver Barf one.
No, you can put an A2 on those. You can get the adapter to put an A2
Yeah,
stock.
I've seen
an
AK
AR
adapters
stock
as well.
on it.
So here's the thing. What you guys are talking about spending, and you guys might have been over this on another episode. You're talking about spending $1,500, $1,900 on a complete rifle. What about looking at like the ATRS receiver set and just repurposing what you've got already?
I would
have
not. I would not. If I had an ATRS fucking receiver set, I would not be dropping $500 worth of piece of shit mil spec parts into it.
Yeah, but I've got it. I've got my 3-gun AR-15 already that I like. I just take all the bits out of that.
But
slap
does
down.
it have an
Change your barrel
18-inch barrel? Yeah.
No,
You
I'm
need
running
it.
it.
You would if your AR is already running a rifle or mid-length gas system, the only additional part you would need is an 18.5-inch barrel.
And that's the only
because
thing. I'm
everything
running,
else is
I'm running a
preferred.
mid-length already on that gun. So
Well, there you go. Then
everything
yes,
else is
you
a
would have
drop-in.
everything you need.
Yeah.
But the problem is, even Mr. High and Mighty ATRS company has had issues with their shit. And they may have worked through them better and already because they're a more established company that
They're more
Maccabee.
they're more put together.
But-
I would buy an ATRS over the.
I
other.
would also buy an ATRS. Problem is, you can't. You straight up can't.
Well,
you
you get on the list.
You can get on the list, and who the fuck knows where you're gonna get it, when you're gonna get it, or you can go out and pony out an extra $500 to $1,000 for a secondhand set on CGN, because those things don't go up for less than $1,500, and the ones that are $1,500 are the ones that people got creative with and had Magpul bad lever trough caught into the side so they could install the bad lever on those guns.
Oh, man,
And they look
weird.
fucking terrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So I guess what we're saying is, if with unlimited time, the ATRS receiver set and a used AR-15 set, if you have some.
It used to be that you could get away with buying a Norinco. What the fuck is it? The not the CQBs.
Oh
the
no,
CQBs.
their long
CQA?
barrel one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a 20-inch M16 lookalike one.
But I'm
That was-
with you, Crover. Like if I'm gonna drop $1,000 on an upper and lower receiver set, I'm not gonna drop $500 on the rest of the parts. I want a match grade barrel. I want a nice forend. I don't want trash on $1,000 build kit. I want better stuff, right?
You're going to end up with a $2,000 to $2,500 gun. That's what you're going to end up with.
But at least it's worth $1,500.
And then it is.
yes,
To an extent, because I still maintain that all the R&D and research and startup costs that they're claiming those receivers are $700. I mean, $1,000. That's bullshit. The material nowadays, they're raking in. Who knows what?
No.
profit margin
They're I used to do work in CNC machine shops. $1,000 is almost a steal for what they put into that.
I would argue against that simply due to the fact that down in the States you can buy an upper or lower receiver set for $200.
Yeah, but not a custom made one-off one. Like
Even
they're making
your
1,000
billet,
of them, right?
even your billet ones in the States are not $1,000 or 700. They're 500 if they're at the top end. If you're getting your Gucci AR in the States from a billet CNC machined upper and lower, you're not going to be paying as much as you're paying here.
But the simple fact is that the American market is not the Canadian market. My day job's in sales, and all of Canada is not California in my industry.
No.
It's like it's orders of magnitude different in terms of the sales volume that you can extract out of the American market, and that's in a completely separate industry.
Yeah.
So saying like you can get billet receivers in the States for $200 and like a bespoke made for the Canadian market where you're going to sell 1,000 a year, maybe. It's like
personally, I think that very soon we're going to get a build kit for the 223 cartridge that is similar to this. Yeah. If this was offered in 223, I will buy this because Gucci forend, Gucci barrel, Gucci all the other parts mostly, and a very mil spec upper and lower. I would buy this in an AR-15 version if it was non-restricted. It doesn't exist yet.
I'd be there with you. For me, at our range here, actually I think all the ranges on the island, we can't shoot 3-gun matches with 308. It's not permitted in our bays.
They got a heavy class. They got a heavy division for that. But yeah, it ruins targets. He shoots steel and it's just well,
but we're in 30-yard bays at most, right? So we can't even shoot steel targets at 30 yards with the ARs. We're paper only. Yep. And our bays aren't actually allowed. The CFO won't allow us to do anything bigger than 7.62 by 39 in them. So 308 is just out. Odd. Yeah, 308 is just out entirely. So it's like buying one of these NR 308s is completely a waste of time for me.
Yeah. That's a bit odd because like a 223 and a 77 grain like winged over the berm is going to go pretty far. And a 308 in a 150 or 147 is also going to go pretty far. I don't really see the difference.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. There's a cliff behind it. It's not going anywhere.
Then again,
you gotta get the cliff certified as the berm. Right? That's what Chaz did. So we had a bunch of berms, and they're like, you got to make those berms taller. And we're like, motherfuckers, we're in a valley. There is a valley wall over there. None of this stuff is coming out of here. And eventually we got this valley wall, and now we've got it. Getting that determined got us all of these other different berm distances available, and we didn't have to build them up like massive when they're way out there because it's
like with Milo, with the fucking hills in the middle of nowhere.
I like the Milo range. I love that range. Yeah, it's a beautiful range.
I almost got on their list, but then I didn't feel like paying $500 for their membership.
I like the opportunity to get to shoot on a forces base because they don't have to follow the CFO's bullshit, so their berms are real fucking short.
It's almost like they trust you to they trust you to point it at the target and not up in the air.
Well, if you guys go to
that's not. See, you're wrong because Crazy is in Ontario and the CFO hates him. So
if you go to one of the military bases like Valcartier or what's the one in Ontario?
I mean, we go to Borden.
Gatineau. Isn't it Gatineau?
Gatineau?
Gatineau's in Quebec.
Gatineau's in Quebec. Some of those, the IPSC Nationals were just held at one of the military bases. IPSC Nationals? Maybe. Anyways, when you shoot, it's like there's just hills and like there's no berm. There's just nothing in behind it. It's like you're shooting and it's like, yeah, the landscape will catch it. And it's true. Yeah, they probably got like some like a tank artillery going over top, so they need like a huge template, right? And it's probably fine as far as you can see.
Oh yeah, there's I don't know which base it is, but yeah, there's a base in Ontario somewhere that's got like an artillery range that goes out to a lake somewhere, and like
just for lobbing and skipping shells across their lake surface.
I'd hate to have a cottage on that lake, but I know my dad talks about that from his time in the army, going there, and they would just like, yeah, you aim towards the lake with the arty and just let it go, because who gives a fuck? There's an exclusion zone in the lake, and if your boat's stupid enough to go in it, then you deserve to get blown up.
Nothing like some
Go
pleasure
play.
craft
No,
operating and
all
some
around
being
Toronto,
wave.
like people join the Ontario Rifle Association, the ORA, because CFB Borden is one of the only ranges around here. Like, there's I think 3 ranges in Ontario that have a kilometer distance. Two of them are military. One of them is Borden, and the third one I have no idea where it is. I think they were trying to open another one somewhere a few hours from Toronto, and I don't think it's really gone anywhere. But like the ORA will shoot the 1 kilometer range at Borden like once or twice a year, and that's one of the only reasons people join the ORA here is to do the shoots at Borden because they run service rifle, and most of that's done out of Borden. They do like DCR has like a CQB pistol stuff, and they do that out of some various army base. They'll shoot. What's interesting is they shoot like F class or something like that, like some precision shit. But the military bases, all of them ban reloads. So you got these guys like with like fucking 6 mil bench rest or some shit like that, and as far as I'm aware, they just don't tell range control they're shooting reloads.
Excellent. But yeah, no, that's one of the things that I really like about Alberta. I still hold the Victoria Fishing game as the standard for what a range should be, but the 250-yard rifle range is its only detriment, and that's why I like about Alberta, because I can just drive an hour out of town, and I'm just in Crown Land, and I can find whatever distance I want to shoot.
That's why I always find it funny when people are like, "Where's the nearest Crown Land to Toronto?" You realize where you are and what happened here.
Manitoba.
Like when people actually ask this, I'm like, if you want an actual serious answer, you drive 2.5 hours east to Peterborough, and you'll find some Crown Land out there, or you drive 2 hours north to Gravenhurst and hope you're not in Muskoka because target shooting is not allowed in Muskoka County. And I'm pretty sure you're in Muskoka up there, so you cannot target shoot on the Crown Land up there. So you've got to go further north than Muskoka, which is like 3 hours north. If you go west, there is no fucking Crown Land because that's all the Niagara Peninsula, south and southwest and whatever. That is all someone owns all of this. It is all private land.
You're not thinking with portals here, my buddy. Like you gotta where you can't target shoot. What you got to do is bring like 5 pet rabbits, put them way out down range, and be like, I've been shooting those fuckers for all day. I'll have been hitting his paper. I think there's something wrong with my gun.
It's like I keep aiming for the rabbit, but I keep getting these tiny groups on this piece of paper.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hunting.
It's like, I don't know.
I'm just really bad at it.
I keep adjusting the scope. It just keeps going around circles in the paper. Yeah. No, but
we have one more question on Facebook.
we
got questions on Facebook,
Guns.
and we've got one more on Canada Guns too here.
I could not find the fucking
You've
video.
got 600 yards to make a home gong range. What size targets at what distances for 22 LR?
How so? Have you guys shot 22 long range?
No.
250 meters is the longest.
Silhouette. I do some silhouette, but that's about it.
Okay, well,
I shot from a
tell
bench
us about
250.
the silhouette first. Their lighting, and then we'll go longer.
I mean, that's max 100 yards, but the hard part is the targets are small. So that's how they make it more difficult for you. Is they just make small targets.
And most of the time, with like the traditional silhouette distance for 22 is like 25 yards with just sized down targets.
Yes.
No, I think the farthest one.
No. Lighting. Think about the base on the left-hand side. There is one at 25. There's one at 50, and there's one at 100.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It goes out to 100.
You can shoot 22 out to 100, but like the traditional distance for 22 silhouette is using scaled down miniatures at 25 yards.
Yeah.
And then you could walk out and like put them back up on the board that you're shooting at, right?
Yeah, I think our range shoots the scaled up out to 100.
Awesome. Yeah. The
Which
trouble with
is
that
actually
is that they fall
different.
over, right? They're knockdown targets, and if you had them at 100 and you knock them down, you gotta walk out and set the stupid things up again. Whereas if you had them at 25, you could have like 4 guys all plinking away, and it's like, okay, everyone put their guns, rack them, let's go set up our targets again, come back. And that's very easy to do at 25. Not so much at 100, unless you run something that's reactive or something that is hanging from a post and you can hear the ringing off of it. What do you guys run?
They're knockdowns.
Yeah,
Knockdowns at 100 is a pain in the ass, man.
Well, I mean, you line it up. It's our silhouette club is packed. Like,
yes,
if you don't get there first thing in the morning, you will not get a spot, and they run 2 courses. And so, I mean, they line up and they shoot each distance. There's, 8-10 shooters on the line?
Yeah.
And then everybody just walks out and goes resets all their targets.
Fantastic. I really like the long distance on 22 because that's it simulates a very long distance shot on a centerfire rifle because of how much drop and how much wind and all these other things that are affecting the bullet.
Yeah.
And it's cheap. And I love
when
22s.
When I was fucking around with my rifle at the Vic range at 250, it was like, oh, I'm gonna aim at this branch on the tree because it's like I'm not like it's at the bottom of the scope. Like I could be using the very bottom section of the crosshairs, or I could just be aiming at something above the fucking target. Yeah. That basically be it. And I wasn't getting very good groups, but yeah.
How many MOA? If you're making your own range and you're going to set up targets, you're probably not going to go out to 600. Maybe you're going to go out to 350 max for a 22.
For a 22, if you have a good 22 and you know what you're doing, you can set up targets to 300. I would say.
If you had a canted base and you had a scope that was capable, that had a lot of elevation, 350 is doable. But you gotta crank in your dials on that thing. What kind of MOA would you guys recommend for those kind of distances? Because MOA scales with distance. So what MOA targets are achievable?
Hey, if you have a good 22 and you know what you're doing, you are sub MOA. You are. But 22 just kind of disappears in terms of performance once you go past 100, right? So let's say you have
on your performance, right? If you're not shooting a gun that's a high quality gun, if you're not,
what would you guys do? You guys have the guns you have
12
right now.
12 inch gong
at 300.
300.
So you're shooting a 4 MOA target.
3 MOA.
3 MOA
for a 22.
Yeah.
Are you even going to be able to hear it with how small that 22 is?
You need very thinned metal targets. So the further out you go, you need a very thin something hanging on chain or very swingy, so that when it hits it, you can hear that ring out there. But at 300 is very difficult to hear. You might actually need someone with a spotting scope to be able to see it.
Yeah. But no, like I have a 12-inch gong. It's a big, thick 3/4 inch AR-500, so that would do fuck all.
But I would say the farthest I've ever taken because I shoot I've got a Swedish with diopters on it, and I take that one out to the 250 mark at Big Fish and Game, and I guess the gong they got hanging there is like a 16, and I'm able to hit that.
Yeah, no. The beauty of the beauty and the issue with the Vic range is that the gong it's not flat. So the first up to 100 is perfectly flat with the benches and the shooting line, but then your 200 is maybe 2-3 meters higher, and then your 250 is like almost 10 meters higher. Like it's up a hill. So that really does a number with 22 because you gotta aim high and you gotta aim higher with that. But you can build yourself a 22 range to 300, and you can shoot consistently after you develop good fundamentals.
See, the furthest I've shot my 22 was 200, and it was just like, oh hey, look, I hit paper. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm on a 16 at 200, I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's the thing.
For a home range, though, you'd be able to get out there like however much time you have, right? Maybe twice a week, and you'd be able to shoot at those distances. And I think
so. There's a guy on IRC saying that he shoots 22 out of a CSET 455 with a 1 pound Temni trigger, a Vortex PST2 3 to 15 first focal plane, all in a KRG Bravo with an Atlas.
Mhm.
I'm guessing that's a
That's a bipod. Yeah.
that's a bipod, and he says he has a 20 MOA base on there.
Yeah.
So he's got what he needs to make the elevation adjustment.
But like just due to the fact that like 22 is like a rainbow by 350, you can get to like with a lot of that stuff, you can get to 350. Getting to 450 is like it's not going to happen. You just need too much. It's coming
you need
down.
something. You need a scope with a 34 millimeter tube, fuckload of elevation on it, and probably more than a 20 MOA
Well,
base.
the thing you can do is there is it's a set of rings that is screw adjustable. That'll get you out the really far distances, but it's not going to be accurate enough to make.
I have seen for like the redonkulous setups on 100 MOA base, but that is just
and adjustable bases. Or
Yeah.
the other thing that some people will do is there's a glass thing you put over the front that adjusts the where the scope is looking. But this is not realistic. Realistically, if you had a range in your backyard, you'd probably go to 350 max and just set up targets right around that 3 or 4 MOA for the far stuff, and for the close stuff, you'd probably go to like 1 or 2 MOA. Because very common for 22s for a know your limits setup is to set it up at 50 meters and to have one target that's half an inch, and that's like your gun may be able to do half an inch groups on the best of days from a rest, but you shooting positionally at 50 yards, a half inch is a very small target.
See, with me, I can't even shoot.
I wouldn't be able to shoot offhand.
No.
Not offhand,
half
but
an
like
inch, no.
even like down on the ground bipod shooting a half inch target, not a half inch group, but a half inch target at 50 meters on command is difficult.
Yeah,
I would have to try it, but I think I could do it.
Like going out to distance, I suck even with my 223, and like my Howa will get like I can hit a 6-inch at 200 consistently with it. So, and actually that gong's probably more so about 5 inches. So I know I'm still getting I can get at least 2 MOA out of the thing. But my issue with it is like I'm so not used to shooting distances, and I'm shooting like bulk garbage ammo that's probably just, even at 55 grains, it's probably still just a little bit heavy for the 1 in 12 twist in that gun. So I know that the gun can do MOA. I've shot MOA, the sub MOA, like just sub MOA at 100 with it with bulk ammo before, and I know it's capable of it. But like the further out you go, the more it accentuates all of your fuck ups.
Yeah.
So like I think I usually end up shooting 3 to 4 MOA at 200 with my Howa.
That's fine.
And
The only reason that I say that I think I could do it was because at the Buffalo Target Shooters, my buddy and I were shooting at the 200-yard targets. They have steel at BTSA at 200 because the rifle bay is 100 split to 200, and he had decked out to the tits SLR with a 20-inch match grade barrel and a big old honking scope on it, like a 4 to 20 scope on it, or 4 to 16 scope on it, so he could see what he was doing, and he was putting rounds around the fucking gong, right? And I was bored and done shooting 100, so I grabbed my AR with a TRS 25 red dot on it, and I parked myself right next to him, but there was no space on the benches, so there was a fence, a railing, so I just plucked the handguard on the railing and I held onto it, and I was just like, bang. What did I hit? Like, you were low. Okay, so I aimed at the top of the gong, bang, clink, bang, clink, bang, clink, and he's like, fuck you, Krover. Fuck you. Like, what?
Something
Like,
said about a red dot. That's all you need for close range. Would be anywhere from like 200-300. Red dot's fine.
yep, no, but that's
I mean, with
the
my
only
AR,
detriment.
I'd put the 3 times in front of it.
Yeah, the only detriment with the red dot is you can't see your impacts past 200.
Yeah.
But if you're shooting at 200, you're good.
No, I can't see my impacts at 200 with a red dot.
No,
No.
not with a 223. Way too small.
Yeah. You can hear them though. You can hear them at 200. At 300, not so much, but hopefully your spotters can. With a 22, like that's where like a big scope really comes in handy, is seeing what the bullet is doing and seeing, because you can spot it. You pull the trigger, there's like no recoil. You see that bullet going through the air. You see it go to the target, arc in there, and you can see if it hits because you see some splash off of it, even if you can't hear it, which is really nice.
So somebody on an IRC Parrot said, instead of worrying about all this shit, just get yourself a tow missile and just guide that round right into the target.
Yeah,
He posted a link. I'm guessing he's Canadian Forces because he's got a video of him shooting a tow missile, and you can just see that motherfucker doing the little squiggly where you're holding the laser onto it.
But the other thing with 22 is a lot of like. He's talking about a home range, so it doesn't matter. But here, for me, going and shooting at a range, you got to have specific 22 steel targets, or like none of the ranges in Ontario will let you shoot at like a 3/4 inch AR 500 target with 22.
Why?
That sounds like a bunch of commie bullshit.
Yeah.
And like every single range you go that I've ever been to in this province, it says no 22 on steel unless you are shooting specific 22 steel targets.
That sounds like a pile of FUD lore and commie bullshit.
It's whenever you ask them, it's because it's probably the CFO telling them not to do that because ricochets or something. But like that's the excuse.
So what? It's a 22. Just brush it off.
Yeah, but that's the excuse I've always heard is ricochets. It's more easy to ricochet off the target because it's blah blah fucking whatever. But that's the thing is I always say you either got to get your thin ass fucking 22 targets.
I once caught a pellet from a. Actually, no. I once got a 9mm ricochet hit me right on the chest, and it left a welt. And it was from us shooting steel at like.
Mild
it was
steel.
actually it was actually at the Vic range lighting. I had the steel hanging at the 25 meter bay, and I had a ricochet come back at me. Maybe I hit like the chain or something, and it sent it back at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ow."
Yeah,
Okay.
I've got shotgun pellets before off of bowling pins. When you're doing bowling pins I hate bowling pins at 3-gun matches because they don't last, they cost a fortune, and then you catch the pellets right back in your face all the time.
I've caught a pellet of birdshot to the chin once, and I was like, "Oh, that's not comfortable."
Well, are there any other questions on Reddit or Facebook?
On Reddit,
no, we covered all of them, I think.
Okay.
There's one on Facebook. The guy goes, "When are you going to talk about not going in the woods?"
I spoke about that right at the beginning. It's like this quarantine, yo. Don't go.
But the
in
woods aren't quarantined, and we're not strictly quarantined. I am going to go in the woods next weekend.
It's going in the woods and keeping a respectable distance from the animals in the woods.
Yeah,
no, if those animals get too close to me, I'm going to light them up. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why. No, that's why you need box max because that's coming right for you, and you have to make sure that they don't come for you.
Double tap.
Yeah.
I actually
accuracy through volume of fire.
We had to do a post
in video games.
Yeah, we had to do a post on the Vic Fish and Game page here last week, reminding people not to go hunt things that weren't in season. Because people were starting to make sort of funny, but really actually kind of serious remarks about going and living off the land during this whole thing. And we just had to remind everybody that things aren't really in season right now. Don't go poach the animals.
Oh, and around here, coyotes.
What about Waldo, though? Is nobody shot at Waldo yet, have they?
No, whoever shot at Waldo, I'm pretty sure they'd never find that person again.
Yeah. There's a pet llama on the Vic range. His name is Waldo, and he's probably deaf. Because he likes to quite literally wander into the shooting bays while they're being, used by people shooting.
We should probably qualify that in case animal control shows up. He actually belongs to the neighbors and hangs out at the range because people feed him. He is really not deaf because I've seen him pick a cougar out of the woods before. So I don't know what's up.
Care about gunshots.
He doesn't care about gunshots. He will walk in front of you if he thinks he's going to get fed because you're going to get him out of your way. But he's one brave llama. But there was he was a little weird all this winter. So people were thinking we had to lay down some llama law over the winter because people were some people were coming up with families and stuff like that, and the families were kind of harassing him to try and get photos or to try and feed him things that he shouldn't be fed. So we've had to kind of
Llama law.
lay down some llama law and make it so that people aren't abusing the llama. But
We have a question actually on IRC. GSG 16s, yay or nay? That's a pretty easy question.
Yes.
yay,
Yay.
all the yay.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye. Drum mags, yay or nay? I think yay. They
Which
are
kind? Which kind?
the ones that work.
Wow. If we could get a PMAG D60s up here, that's all I'd run for
Are
$3.
you talking about the drum mags?
I'm talking
for
about the GSG drum mag. but-
Yeah. So
Okay,
I
yes.
actually so funny story. I get a shipment that I'm not expecting from the last week, and sure enough, it's a GSG 16 drum mag, and I hadn't ordered it. It just showed up at my door. And so I call up Delask. I'm like, hey, I never actually ordered this, so what's going on? And they go, oh crap, yeah, we got a new guy in shipping. We saw your order come in for the short barrel, and apparently he shipped you a drum mag instead. So they gave it to me. I'm not even going to say what they gave it to me for because it's stupid. It has to be their cost or less, and they didn't charge me shipping. So I basically got one of these things for like half of what you can find them for online.
Nice.
I hate you.
Yeah, and but I haven't run it yet. But that sucker's substantial. Like
They are good. Back in the day, and I hate to say it, but there is a back in the day that I can remember far enough.
The Ruger.
The Ruger GSG Max, they were 10 shit tons of fun with 10 shit tons of trouble if you did something that, by all accounts, should be fine, which is just try to run whatever you want in it. Do not, I repeat, do not, for the love of Christ, put waxed rounds in those drum mags. They make a fucking mess. And I took apart.
Too well either.
Yeah, I took apart those mags because I fucked up and I loaded waxed rounds in it a couple of times, and I had to get in there and clean it out. The spring on those things is stout because it's got to push all that ammunition around when it's fully loaded, and loading it is an absolute pain in the ass. There is no easy way to do it. You have like the first 10 rounds that have to go down the neck of the mag and start to feed into the actual drum. You have to like fucking sacrifice a goat to the gods of chance to get it to actually load properly those first 10 rounds. After that, it's a little bit easier, but there are tabs in the back of the mag that you have to manually index every single time you load a round. And you have to do that 110 times or 115 if you happen to have the mags that kind of fit more of the rounds than what I advertised.
So I've got one of those McFadden lightning grip loaders with the attachment for the 522 or 520. They call it 522 attachment, but the GSC 16 attachment. So far, it seems to load that drum mag okay as long as you take a little of the tension off on the spring.
Yeah.
But that's just ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk,
Yeah.
ka-chunk.
And it's long. It's a long while to actually empty it too, because it's 110 rounds. Like I have a video.
I'll take that chance.
Yeah, I have a video of me shooting my Ruger one back in the day, and it's like, fuck, my finger's tired. I'm not even fucking halfway through this thing. It's like bang, 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 bang. Okay, switch to the fucking hard finger. No. Okay, back to the index.
If you were gonna shoot a gopher field, and you had like one of the sitting bipods, so like the pretty long bipods.
Like shooting sticks?
No, there's a long style bipod you can get that works great if you're like sitting cross-legged, and you just cinch in the rifle, and it's super solid. Now, if you had a 110 round drum, you could basically sit out there for an hour just plinking gophers, one after the other, and just not reload because you don't have to put 50 rounds in your pocket. No, I'm just gonna carry this 110 round drum, boom, and you would have room for it. You couldn't do it prone because it would stick down too much, right?
Or you could use it as a monopod.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, monopoding works.
Yeah, the one thing that those little rimfire mags don't like is taking weight. Like if you
that is an issue if you have crappy seating of the mag. Like the 1022 mag, that was a fucking pain in the ass because the way that the mag held itself. If you put any weight on it, it would like over insert or under insert a little bit.
The 597 mags are pretty easy because it's like
Yes.
the tube there. It slides into the fucking
Yeah.
thing there.
I think the 597 might be a little bit better.
The 795 mags, the Pro Mag ones, those respond to torque. If you have your mag coming out and you sit it on the ground and you torque it one way or the other, it won't feed properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, GSG, go for it. The manual says it only takes high velocity ammunition. I think that's absolute garbage because I put CCI standard velocity through there, through mine. By the way, Kyle, lighting, your shit runs anything.
So when
anything. It runs anything. Whatever I tried in it, it worked.
Right.
Except
So when
Winchester
I got it from you, it was dry as a bone and hadn't been cleaned. So I just slapped I just slapped a mag of whatever in there, and it was not running properly.
No?
So no, it was not. It didn't even like good stuff. Like it wasn't even running on CCI mini mags. So I'm
gonna blame the BC weather.
Yeah, so I popped the bolt out and just gave it a quick spray with some G96 and wiped it down, slapped it all back together, ran a patch through the bore, and then it ran literally everything down to Wildcat that I ran through it for the rest of the day.
You got it to run Wildcat?
No problem. Just ran
How
Wildcat.
the fuck? What? How many goats did you sacrifice to Satan to get a fucking 22 that runs Wildcat?
Wildcat is a short-term proposition. You can get a gun that'll run Wildcat for a little while. It's once you get a couple of hundred rounds through it, it's like, oh, it's failing.
I've shot both
get a
actions
couple
that
hundred
won't
rounds
shoot
through it.
fucking Wildcat.
I do have to say, I think I remember. No, actually, no. I never, because I refused to buy Wildcat after what it did to that 1022. So I haven't shot Wildcat in years because I bought it once because it's like $3 for like the pack of 50s, and you're like, I could probably get away with this, and then you run it and you realize why it's $3.
I bought it once, not knowing that it was bad during the 2012 fucking panic buy and ammo shortage, where America for some reason bought every fucking round of 22 on God's green goddamn earth.
That's why.
Yeah, fucking what high school was it in or elementary school in Connecticut was it? That was
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook.
Yeah, Sandy Hook. That was the shooting. But yeah, America bought every fucking round of 22 they could find. So all we had up here was some shitty Wildcat, and that was literally it. And so I remember buying it because it was the only 22 available, and I never bought it again.
Yeah,
I'm still working through Crover's stash at 22. I traded him some steel case tool ammo 308 for God, I don't know how much 22 did we. I'm still working through all of that.
I actually had some leftover that I didn't trade you, and I just literally loaded up a couple of the GSG max and just was like, okay, I am working through these random stock of ammo, just blast it through and see what happens, and it ran it. So it was literally like a rainbow load inside of the magazine, just
sweet
stuffed rounds and let it go, and it was working. Somebody asked, the plastic rails on the GSG, are they a problem? No, because it's a 22 and it's basically an airsoft gun, so doesn't matter.
No. Adriel was mentioning drum mags in general and using like the mag pull. I think this is what the 50 round fucking
D60s.
D60s. Yeah. So the issue with that though is I've always I've read that like drum mags, they're generally got reliability issues and they're bulky. Like you look at that ball there, that ball is fairly bulky.
The mag pull ones are really reliable, and for 3-gun guys, that's how they run. You wouldn't want to reload.
I mean,
from
what
your pouch
about
on it?
What about a quad stack coffin mag? Because you can get those up to 100 rounds, and it's as far as I'm aware, more reliable and a much. They're also a much lower profile as well compared to.
The only problem with this entire discussion is that MacPull makes 40 rounders, and that's 80 rounds if you have two of those. So you're done.
I got a 45 round mag pull AR mag, but it's pinned to 5. And it's super long, and like the length of it is huge. It's like that long.
It's a dingus mag, yeah.
So at least the D60, and the reason why they use them so much in 3-gun in the States is that they're nice and compact.
Yeah, it's a ball sack.
That's your first mag. You might also have like a 30 rounder or one of the
Okay.
45s on your belt.
So yeah, starting off with the ball sack hanging off your gun, that
It's
makes
fine.
a lot more sense than trying
Yeah.
to have one on your pouch there. Because like Gun Jesus was doing a video about why drum mags kind of suck.
Yep.
And that was the thing. One of the things he addresses: if you're trying to go
Reloading.
for a competition, reloading sucks ass with a
Yeah.
drum mag.
Yeah, you can't reload with a round thing. So you put the round thing in your gun. That's your first mag, and then you go off stick after that. And
Imagine having a course of fire where you need to reload after 60 rounds and a drum mag.
Usually,
I mean, if
usually
you
in the
just suck,
States,
then
they have like in Canada, our belts are huge. I know a guy who's got a 24-inch waist. He's super skinny, and like he doesn't have enough space. For his magazine holder for his pistol is custom made, so it's got like a stack of like mag, all in like a V going into this thing because he doesn't have enough waist space. You fat bastards out there are lucky because he got lots of space. But even me, like my mags are very close to each other, and there's a lot of them. In the States, you would have like 2 pistol mags, maybe an extra rifle mag, and a D60 in your rifle. And
like,
lots of
you
shotgun.
go and look at some of the shit Gun Jesus does, and on like in range in particular, where he does a lot more of the shooting, and you look at the action shooting matches and the brutality matches and stuff like that, and you see they're not carrying too many spare mags on them for these courses of fire, and there's a lot of volume going through there, and there will be times that even when they've got 60 fucking rounds of ammo, or I think even one time with like 90 in an AK, they ran out of fucking ammo.
Yeah, well, he does that because he's got like the older stuff that doesn't have the high cap.
No, if you watch the ones where he
at,
has the operator whatever his name is, like the big boy, the big boy that runs Sinister Rifleman. He runs like a plate carrier, and I think he's got like a couple of mag pouches in there, and that's it. Like he's got like a 3 extra mags on his chest, and that's it.
But like I've seen ones where they've gone out with ARs and AKs that are much more modern designed, and they only bring a spare mag, like one, maybe 2 spare mags with them out there, and I've seen them run out of ammo when they're trying to do especially longer range targets. I remember seeing one with they were up to like 300 on some of them.
So some of our 3-gun guys will run out of ammo on a long range target because their gun's not sighting them properly, or they're not able to build a stable position for shooting long range. Like one of the things with shooting long range that most people don't realize, you can shoot a lot of long range stuff standing. You need something solid next to you. So if you can get a wall and you can grab onto it like that, that's super stable, even from a standing position. So it's about building stable positions, and a lot of people will just pound rounds out. They'll be sitting or standing and just boom, 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 reload, boom, 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 and they'll run through 60 rounds after. They'll go to war is the terminology. They'll go to war with one target and lose.
Yep.
Well, the other thing that when you see the hunting gear guy, I don't know how you guys shoot yours, but we don't shoot time plus at our 3-gun matches yet. We're working on it, but that's a big thing that they do on in range. Is all their matches are time plus.
Yeah.
So when they're running out of ammo, sometimes there is an advantage to running that clock out if they think they can get a spinner or whatever, right? So
yes, they're not max number of rounds. I hate max rounds like matches. I think like it doesn't feel rushed enough. It doesn't feel real enough when I've shot those ones, because it's like take as much time as you want to, and shoot for PRS is like that. You got 10 rounds. Here's your 10 targets. Hit them all. It's like, but what if I bring 2 or 3 magazines on a semi-auto and I just keep pounding at them? that's
volume of fire accuracy.
Like I've designed stages that are deliberately round restrictive because that's the challenge of the stage, right? Like when you only have 25-yard bays, you get a little creative sometimes. So you'll do like but like I've done like mandatory reloads after 5.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the guys who are packing 10-round mags or running pistol caliber carbines have an advantage. Okay, mandatory reload after 5 on the first part. Okay, So it brings a little bit more of it into perspective, right?
And the other thing you do with 3-gun and action shooting in Canada, if you want to run that time plus, is you block views. So here I can only see 5 targets, and I got to put 2 rounds on each. Here I can only see 5 rounds, and or 5 targets, and I got to put 2 rounds each. So you make it so that there's going to have to be a reload in between there anyways, even with people running LAR mags or whatever. And you just build a stage for it, and then it's very easy to RO. It's very easy to run, and you still get that pressure. I love the pressure from shooting on the clock. I was telling someone today, like shooting a pistol from the bench and just like plinking away at a paper target or a steel target at long range is like, I hate it so much, and I can't actually perform. I shoot a pistol on paper. My groups look like garbage. But put me on a clock, and all of a sudden it clicks in, right? I just need that pressure, and I need that time factor to shoot a pistol.
Yeah, I'm working with my girlfriend right now. She's tired of being the girlfriend at matches, so we got her an SPO1 Shadow, and
nice.
I'm getting her all trained up on everything, and she was all excited. She was supposed to shoot her first match this month, but they canceled it. Yeah, no, she was really looking forward to it, but
book a bay and make a mini match for
well,
her.
we are.
Yeah.
We go up there on the weekends and just set up a stage and just run some stuff on it. But like same thing, like when I was teaching her to shoot, she's wanting, can I stand at the back of the bay and slowly put rounds on target? It's like, no, I want you to stand 5 yards from that and mag dump into the center and see where you hit. Like that's more realistic. Like here's 2 targets, alternate between the 2. 2 reload, 2 reload. Get used to that speed shooting, and it's like you'd be surprised how many of those shots are alphas. And it's like an alpha is not hard to get at that range, but you gotta work at it.
Got to get the fundamentals right.
Yeah.
I remember when I got my PCC and I knew I was planning on shooting IDPA with it. I deliberately went, and the first time I took it out, I was doing mag change practice. I just had a mag pouch there. I'd load 2 rounds in each mag and just boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. And honestly, the bad thing was I wasn't almost not even really aiming. I was just like trying to get the routine of change the mags done. And I still fucking only qualified novice on that.
I remember a long time ago when we had Janner in here, there was a time he was talking about a certain match where there was a target very close that you had to get a number of good hits in it, but it didn't matter if you missed. So there were some people that were trying to be careful about taking just 2 shots just so that they could move on and have more ammo for the other one. Whereas when he got to that point in the stage, he just did a mag dump because it was so close. He just kind of point aimed and then just reloaded on the way to the next round. And people got pissed at him because, like, well, why did you waste that ammo? It's like, because I have more mags, and it doesn't matter if I have any misses. If I put enough rounds on the target, eventually I'm going to get the points that I need, and then I can just reload later. And that's just something that always stuck with me because there are different approaches to to the same course of fire.
That's one thing with IDPA is it's usually unlimited. You have a maximum of 30 rounds, and the maximum they can make you shoot is 18. So unless it's a limited round count stage, you can take as many extra shots on the target as you want. And whenever people don't, I'm almost like, but why didn't you?
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that they had a max. That's a reasonable max. Usually with 30 rounds is a max and 18. That's interesting because what that does is disincentivize people from getting like a ton of mags and running out the clock. One of the things with 3-gun is we typically run par times. So if you like 200 seconds, 240 seconds, you get to that time, your stage is done. The rest are penalties. You didn't shoot them, you didn't engage them, whatever. The 30 rounds is very interesting. If you ran a cap on them, just keeping it reasonable.
Because it's 1 in the chamber, a 10-round mag in the gun, and then 2 10-round mags. And technically, when you go into the different categories, it actually reduces the amount of rounds you're allowed to bring in some of the other categories with like backup gun and fucking concealed
FUD gun, yeah,
whatever.
FUD 1911.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, FUD 1911 is custom defensive pistol. I don't know. I think revolver. I think I actually go in with too many rounds because I'm bringing 30 rounds into a revolver stage, and I don't think I'm supposed to. But whatever. The thing is, they can only make you shoot a maximum of 18 rounds per. So there's a maximum of 6 targets, and I think you can have more than
You guys
than
do 3 per target?
you can, I think, do more than 3 per target, but you can never do more than a maximum of 18. But that's the thing is, if you're doing 6 targets, you have 3 per target as the max you can do. It's usually 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. But
I see. Yep.
That's the common one: 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, 3 of anywhere. There was one time where it was zombies, so you had to put 2 in the head on every target. Actually, I think as long as you're just abiding by the 18, you can have as many targets as you want. I don't know. I haven't looked at the rule books
It's
all that
an
much.
interesting limit because what it does is, again, make sure that people you're reducing the equipment requirements. Like in IPSC, you need 5 mags, minimum 5 mags.
Oh, yeah.
You need a belt that'll support a bunch of mags on it. Whereas it sounds like an IDPA, 2 mags, maybe 1 in your pocket
Yeah.
just in case, and 1 in the gun.
You can't even use the one in your pocket. It's a hard limit at just the.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you do use another one, it's a procedural error for
So
you.
if you get a jam, or if one of your mags like pukes the bullets out, it's like fuck you. That's
Basically.
it. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Basically.
Nice.
I think if like your mag shits the bed, they might be a bit more like, because like some people will keep a pony mag in there just to load the one in the chamber instead of like drop one in and close a slide. Because in the RO, I had an RO go and tell me, "Oh, you'll damage your extractor doing that," and I'm like, "I've done this a bunch of times. It's a fucking SIG. If I damage my extractor, this gun's a piece of shit, and it's not worth owning."
Yeah.
But either way, I
damage to a gun from regular use. I don't understand.
because the ground is not being pushed up into the extractor is being pushed over the rim as it's already in the chamber. He's like, you'll damage your extractor and your extractor spring by having it force itself over the rim of your cartridge. And I'm just like, no.
God Lord.
Yeah, I'm just in my head, I'm like, nah, but I'm just gonna load this stupid like 2 rounds in 1 mag anyways, just so they shut up about it. But either way. But yeah, that is the thing, is IDPA tries to the guys who designed IDPA, I've had people tell me it's what IPSC used to be in the 80s, basically, because they try and design it around like defensive situations. So they're like, you're not going to be walking around with 20 fucking magazines on your belt day to day. You'll have maybe a mag carrier with
Speak
you
for
somewhere.
yourself, noob.
But like that's their mentality. Is like, you're not going to be walking around with this fucking arsenal of magazines on you day to day. You'll have maybe 1 mag pouch. You'll have the pistol. So that's it. So we're not going to go and design stages requiring you to have this metric fuck ton of magazines.
Yeah, it makes sense. It also makes the stages nice and small, so
Yeah.
you might be able to squeeze like 2 of them into 1 bay, practically speaking, in terms of a shooting competition.
Oh yeah,
right?
they pretty much do that. When I've done Sharon, they've had as many as 3 in 1 bay because they can aim it at the side berms.
Yep.
So they'll have like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and it's just down the berm or
Yeah.
down the range.
There's only so many targets you can set up when there's a max of 18 per stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you don't see steel too often, at least not up here, just because of the distances. The CFO in Ontario wants you to be at least 10 yards from steel. So IDPA is usually closer than that. Like, you can go out, I think, to 25, but most of it will be 10 yards or closer. So they don't really bother with trying to figure out how
But
the fuck
what
to
if
set
you're
up a steel target.
simulating a shooting inside of a church and you have to dome somebody with a 357 SIG?
You know when we were talking about getting put on lists here?
Yeah.
Are you practicing for this eventuality when you got to dome someone at your church? They're crazy. Do you even have a 357 SIG?
No, you don't, you fucking scrub.
What are you even doing these days? Come on! You are not set up for a practical defense situation if you don't have a 357 SIG that you can deploy at church and dome someone.
Welcome to another list, Lighting.
Yeah.
We had another question actually you missed on the Facebook because I finally found the fucking video. Somebody asked, I want to get into reloading. Which press do I get? How much money do you have?
Pistol? Rifle?
Yeah, how much money do you have, and what are you reloading? Because if you have all the monies, you can go full head first into the whole thing and get yourself progressive and just crank out that ammo volume. Or if
Assuming he's a
you,
poor boy, like just a Lee anniversary kit or whatever is the equivalent these
or
days.
just wait for maybe not anymore because the situation has changed, but just wait for Profit River to have something on sale, because that's where I bought my RCBS Rock Chucker. It was like the Supreme kit for like $400 back in the day.
See, I'd say get a Lee anniversary kit, but don't use a Lee powder throw. Get an RCBS powder throw, not a Lee. Do not use
just weigh the charges. Just weigh the charges.
I mean, the thing with that is sometimes you get really sticky
even
fucking
RCBS one.
powder.
Even the RCBS one has the issue where like I weigh all my powder charges for rifle, and if it's pistol, I weigh like every 5, because every once in a while it will throw like an extra half a grain or an extra full grain, and when you're dealing with pistol,
I had mine throw under once in the 338s that I loaded last time, which was really weird. But I usually tend to measure each one of them for the first. And what the thing is, I won't actually pour the one that I measure. I pour that back into the throw and throw a new one, which some people say is just stupid. But I measure every one for the first 5. Every 5 until I get to 20, and then once I get to 20, it's every 10. And then after some point, if I get bored, I'll just...
That's a very normal QC cadence to measure often to start, and then less and less and less frequent, up to a certain point which you're acceptable at.
As long as it's staying consistent throughout there, you can assume it's being consistent throughout.
What I like to do is I have a little digital scale. I think it's the Frankfurt Arsenal one. It was like $30, and it's good within like 0.2 or 0.3 grains. And what I do is I weigh the case beforehand, I zero it, and I do the powder throw. And if it's near what I want, after when I put the loaded case back on the scale, I call it a day.
See,
I do that if I'm being really finicky. I will do that for every 5. Every single time. If it's a pistol round and I'm just don't give a fuck, because like for example, like the H110 for the 357, where you're fucking filling it to the brim almost, it doesn't matter if you're going over or under a point.
Whereas I'm tight group and it's
if you're doing tight group and your minimum and maximum is literally 1 grain.
Yeah, less sometimes. But that's the thing with this though is I have a turret press, and if you're reloading pistol, I'd recommend a turret press. It just makes things so much easier. But
if you're just reloading,
good for both. I have a turret, and if I was a poor boy, I would use that for both. Just turret for rifle, turret for pistol.
Classic turrets,
good enough.
The Lee Classic turret still costs less than an RCBS single stage. So, that's what I'm using.
I'm stuck with the RCBS single stage because I don't really feel like
I'll probably end up with an RCBS single stage when I move out, because I'll be just taking it because my dad got it from a friend of his and doesn't use a single stage. But I use the classic turret, and the thing is, when I put the round on the shell holder, I want to make sure it does not come off until the bullet is on and crimped. So that way I know I'm not accidentally double charging because I got distracted, especially since I'm using tight group, which can easily double charge. So that way, round goes on, powder gets thrown, turn it over, bullet gets in, turn it over, it's crimped, then it comes out. I shake it to make sure I can hear powder inside it, and then I put it down. And that's how I know I have not double charged the load, because it went in there, 1 throw, around, bullet, crimp. And
the other, if you go to IKEA, they got these little lamps that kind of scroll down.
Yeah.
So the nice thing with these things is you point them right into the case and you can see if it's got a double charge.
I have one right here.
Yeah. I got a pile of those. They're right in the museum. But,
they're cheap. Everyone's got them, right?
Yeah. I actually just finished kind of upgrading my press. I run an RCBS Pro 2000. And my advice is look for used shit, because I got that whole kit for $300.
Oh.
And I've managed, it's discontinued, so I've managed to get all the parts for it. I've got it fully with the auto advance and everything now. And I run an auto powder drop on it. And once I get that thing dialed, I just leave it. It's close enough. And I'm running all my big rifle rounds I do on single stage Fat Max. But everything else I run on the progressive, and it runs just fine. But I use a double alpha makes a magnetic reed switch powder check. And that's what I run for all my pistol rounds because it's good within the less than half
So
the range.
all these people talking about all these fancy things is just get a single stage if you're just starting out. Figure out if you want to drop more money into it, and then sell it at a discount and buy yourself something fancier if you want to go ahead and hire.
Buy your single stage used, and then use it, and then sell it for like $20 less than you paid for it.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's a good alternative.
Yeah, because like I got my single stage for $50.
What I didn't get with my dad is he had the turret press, and he wasn't using it properly. Like, he would go and load the rounds with the little powder scoop that came in the fucking die set, and he would he would either measure and weigh and load them, or he would just like guesstimate based on the height and load them, and that's why he was prone to having a double charge if he got distracted, is because he's loading them all before he goes and puts the fucking bullet in them.
Well,
he wasn't using a powder throw.
On a block. It's very easy to load them all on a block and then examine them visually and compare them against each other if you have them on a block.
But
if
I know he said
50 at a time. That's very foolproof.
But like he said, he would go, and if someone distracted him, he would pour out the last 3 that he did just to be sure, and then redo them. But like with that, it's like, okay, or you get a powder throw on your turret press. You just calibrate the powder throw, you put the bullet in, throw the powder, turn it, and get it loaded. And then you don't got to worry about double charging this, whatever the fuck that, weighing this. It's just easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So don't go in the woods.
Don't go in the woods. Hey, I got a jam. Is that a problem?
Well, it is a 1911, so you kind of should be used to it, right?
Mm-hmm. What's your
You're jiving with this show's wavelength very well.
Knife hand that thing out of there.
Yeah, just knife hand it out. Yeah,
tap, rack, and bang. Here we go. Tap, rack, bang.
I'm not wanting to damage my massively expensive boys round. I had to very gently lower the slide on that.
Yeah, I think we've achieved the very rare job of going really, really, really long on this one episode. I guess we had a lot to talk about now that lighting is part of the gang.
Yeah, we'll see how permanent the part of the gang I am here. I got a few things
more
to talk
stuff
about.
to talk about.
Yeah, you still got more things to talk about, but we're going to talk about that in another time, unless anybody has anything else that they would like to talk about. Hopefully no more legislation happens, because the government is busy making sure nobody else dies, except people keep dying, so they're going to be busy for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically, any thoughts of when we were going to get the gun control, that's all out the fucking window with this whole shit. This shit's going to be going on until April.
June. Oh, we should do an outbreak pot. Let's see how long this goes. I got June. Dibs on June.
Whoa. What are our considerations here?
How
long we're quarantined?
No, how long until you can go have a beer?
Ooh.
End of April, before people just start doing it regardless, is what I say.
Or how long till the CFOs are back?
No, this is a godsend for them. They're never coming back.
Okay, so
how about
Crazy's got end of April.
When are bars reopening? There you go.
End of April.
Bars reopen.
Okay, Crazy's got end of April.
End of April?
Yeah.
End of June.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it'll be into July for sure. I'm gonna say
July.
Well, there's a who just canceled all outdoor events into end of June. Toronto. Yeah. So I'm gonna say that's a conservative. So I'm gonna say we're gonna be into July.
Which province? Countrywide. This is provincial. It throws a wrench in the works. Now we have to pick a province.
I'm just actually saying straight up national, and the reason I'm saying that is because people are not going to put up with this for that long. Regardless of whether I'm saying this, regardless of whether or not the government says we should still be doing it, regardless of whether or not the chief medical officer of health says we're still supposed to be doing it, people will not put up with this for very much longer than what we've already been asked to do. And so already we're at like 2 weeks.
Just start it still. Don't worry about it.
No, regardless of this, people are already going.
You just need a jug.
People are going. Regardless, People are going stir crazy in their houses.
Toilet moonshine.
People are going stir crazy in their houses. Business owners are worried about their businesses going bankrupt. They're not pulling in any profit. Their workers are all laid off. So you're going to hit a point where people are like, I'm not staying at my house anymore, and I need to reopen my business because otherwise I'm going to go bankrupt. So they'll just risk getting the fine for being open when they're not supposed to and just not pay it. And if enough businesses open up again at the same time, because these guys are all going to be coordinating with each other in the same neighborhood on social media. If enough of them open up again at the same time, what are you going to do? Take in every fucking bar in Toronto? You're not going to be able to do that. That's just completely
if I can
unfeasible.
summarize, you're saying end of April.
I'm saying end of April because that's when people are going to say that we're done with this shit.
Okay,
and we're just going
you
back
and
out there.
I got end of June. What about you, Alberta?
You guys got all in the range. I'm thinking. So I believe peak will be mid to late April. May is hard. I'm hard to guess whether end of May or like mid June because you've got someone has start of June or no?
No,
Oh, give me June 14.
June 14th. So right before the mid June.
Yeah.
Do you want mid June or do you want beginning
mid
of June?
June. Mid June.
Mid June. There it is. Mid June in Alberta. I got end of June in Alberta. Crazy has April. You said
End of April.
End of
end
April.
of April in Ontario.
And, we're going with you said until the bars reopen because I can still say that government's probably going to be able to have people say no gatherings more than 250. Conventions that'll still be banned for a while. But I'm going to say by the end of April, people will make sure that the bars and like shops get opened again because otherwise
when do you think you're going to be able to have a beer at the Beagle in Victoria?
I mean, I could go right now and have a beer at the Beagle in Victoria.
They're still open?
Nobody's fucking closed here. I mean, stuff.
Wait. You can
There's
cheat
fucking
and just
hippies.
say now.
Yeah, there's stuff. I mean, there's bars that are closed here just because they're being good people, but there's bars that aren't closed here because they're just doing their own thing, right? But like, there's more stuff here open than not in terms of restaurants because they've all just switched to delivery and everybody's ordering online.
So
Okay, but go
in
into
terms
the
of
bar-
Victoria,
Go into the Beagle to have a beer.
Into the Beagle to have a beer. Okay, I'd say end of May then.
End of May. All
Yeah,
right, there
there
it
we
is,
go.
folks.
there we go.
We had the bets. The chips are down. Hopefully in 2 weeks we're not live streaming for the Woods. Or maybe we will be. I don't know.
Well, at least we'll have unlimited data thanks to all the carriers just being like, no, we're not going to charge overage right now.
Yeah.
Smoke signals and
Smoke signals. Says the hippie. All right.
I didn't say
kill it,
what. I
Adriel.
didn't say what smoke signals.
Kill it, Adriel.